screwed. Welcome to Bracket Bashers, the podcast. We take a bracket of 32, 64, 128 or more and banter our way down to a winner. I am your host this week, and this is Kevin.
This is Kevin from the Mod Squad Network, and back to the retro review.
This is Bubbles, your favorite senator from the great state of Bastardom. And this is
Kate Laverne from New Jersey. From just New Jersey.
And we have a couple of guests, one returning and one the first time here. Shay is back in the Bastard Kingdom. How are you doing today, dear love?
I am fabulous. How are you all?
Like a very spacious
Thank you.
background today. And of course, I've been trying to get him on for like a year now. We just happened to find a topic that suited him quite well. From the Facebook page Bracket of Champions, which for many of you who know the stuff that I do each week on the entire bracketology page, he does it in a very different way than I do it, but it's kind of a sister station type thing. And I absolutely love his page. It gives me ideas on some of the stuff to do as well for our show. We kind of go back and forth. But John, how are you doing today?
Doing great. So happy to be here. I'm stoked.
I am glad to have you here today too. That makes 6 of us, which means I am not voting, but that also means we are the bastards running this thing this week. This week, we are talking about Disney. More appropriately, we're talking about Disney villains, because without a good villain, you can't have a good hero. And we have 32 villains this week to go ahead and battle out to see who is going to go ahead and win this. Before we do, we have a couple rules, a couple lifelines and stuff like that. Number 1 is steal a vote. One time during the show, you are allowed to steal one person's vote up into including the quarterfinal round, but they have to have not voted yet. You cannot take somebody else's vote who has already voted. But that means if they blew their load before you got to vote, their vote is not used yet. So you can actually steal their vote after they blew their load. Do not forget about that. Second rule is the blowing load, of course. Since we vote round robin style on here, you can go ahead and blow your load if you don't want to go first. If somebody else blows their load after you, you are no longer going last at that point, but directly before the person that just blew their load. And of course, since I am not voting today, we have the Bluey-inspired pass the parcel rule. Once again, one time during the show, you're allowed to pass the parcel to me if you either do not want to vote, can't seem to find who to vote for, or just don't want to be the bad guy in a situation. Go ahead and pass the parcel. I have broad shoulders. I can take it. Since I am not voting, Kevin starts us off today. And Kevin, from The Little Mermaid, is it Ursula or Bruce the Shark from Finding Nemo?
Ooh. Fish are our friends, not food. I gotta go with Bruce.
Bruce gets a vote on this one. Bubbles.
Look, Bruce is not a villain, so I don't even know how he made it to this list, okay? Bruce is just an addict just trying to get his life straight, okay? And you know what? He never knew his father, okay? So you can't really blame him too much for his actions.
Don't hold him to his trauma.
But Ursula, on the other hand, she's just kind of a bitch. So I'm with her. I'm voting Ursula on this. She's definitely more so the villain.
Ursula gets a vote on this one. Kate, is it Ursula or Bruce the Shark?
I'm with Bubbles on this. Bruce isn't a villain. He has, if anything, he's a hero. He comes back at the end. He encourages them to grow, and Dory learns how to read again. Ursula, on the other hand, steals someone's voice. Physically steals someone, like not even metaphorically. That's just not very nice.
Yeah, at 16, who's making right decisions? Like, she knew that.
I know. I was 4 years out from getting married at 16.
Right?
Yeah, but did you use your body language?
Maybe also not the best decision. I'm
Ursula
just going to drink my evil lime drink.
Ursula gets that particular vote on that one. John, is it Ursula or Bruce the Shark?
Yeah, no brainer. Bruce, not a villain at all. Doesn't even belong on the bracket. Ursula's got to be, I guess, the number one overall seed. So that's no brainer.
And Shay finishes out. Is it Bruce the Shark or Ursula?
Yeah, I have to agree on that. I mean, I do love me some villains, and I kind of feel like Ursula is like the OG bad bitch, so she'd knock Bruce right out of the water. So
Ursula moves on that one 4-1. I agree with you guys. I don't think Bruce the Shark is a villain. Kind of a he in his newfound lease on life. He's kind of a fish out of water.
Yeah.
There you go. But Ursula being a sea creature as well just kind of sets that mood. And The Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney movie of all time. Period. So Ursula moves on 4-1. Bubbles starts this one off. Bubbles, is it from Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent, or Judge Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Oh God. Okay. So Maleficent, she's kind of a bad bitch, right? Like she's cursing babies and shit. But Frollo, on the other hand, he is like, I'm tearing up a whole town because I can't have this woman that I want because of my religious views. And it's obviously her fault. So, like, he's an asshole. Like, that's just fucking ridiculous. This one's so... Fuck you, Freddie, okay? I'm just like, fuck you, Freddie, because this one, like, as far as, like, do I want to go with the bad bitch because, you know, we all like a little baddie in our life? Or, you know, like, I really do see Frollo as an awful villain. Like, he's terrible. But he does have a pretty sick song in his, as far as his songs go.
Yeah, freaking Hellfire is one of my favorite Disney songs of all time. You do have the ability to pass the partial or blow your load on this particular one as well. And while Bubbles is trying to decide, I would like to let you guys know, doesn't come up very often, but all votes are live until the final person votes. So when that fifth person votes, all votes are locked. If somebody else happens to sway your vote enough that you think that you voted wrong and want to admit that you voted wrong in this situation, you are more than welcome to change your vote, but you do have to let me know. Bubbles, it is still on you.
God, this one's hard though.
That's what she said.
Like, are we talking bad or like good bad?
I don't know. I like to see her as like the Angelina Jolie version of Maleficent, and really, you know what? Like, thinking of it that way, I'm gonna go with Maleficent on this one because I kind of like.
Say, King Stefan fucked that girl over.
Right.
All right. Well, Bubbles, since you're such a trooper.
Thank you.
I didn't have much of a hiss on that one. I apologize. Anyway, Maleficent against that particular vote. Kate, is it Maleficent or Frollo?
So Maleficent just has FOMO and Frollo's an incel, and I feel like one of those two is clearly way worse than the other. So I'm gonna go. I mean, the Catholic in me always has to pick the religious nut. We're gonna go with Frollo.
Frollo gets a vote on that one, John.
Yeah. So here's my thinking. I'm a firm believer that like popularity and legacy matter in these things. And if you walk down the street and asked 1,000 people who Frollo was, you would get so many blank stares. Like without the context of the movie. Now, the movie's great. It's like a horror movie. I like it. But Maleficent is like legendary. She turns into a dragon at one point in Sleeping Beauty. Like, it's not even close to me. It's Maleficent.
Gets a vote. Shay.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, she could just wave her little scepter and he'd... So, Maleficent all the way.
Gets a vote in the current win right now before Kevin votes. I'm going to have my particular say on this one. I would have gone with Frollo on this one because the guy burned down the city of Paris because he couldn't get laid.
Seriously, and brothels were everywhere back then. It wasn't that hard. Just get some syphilis and call it a day, dude.
That's what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. She got all bent out of shape because she didn't get invited to a party. But like, I
It was the 1400s. How many parties are there? She's only got like 2 till your past life expectancy anyway. Like, I'd be upset if I missed out on 50% of the events in my life. Can you
but
blame her?
to burn down the city of Paris because you couldn't get laid
For some ass.
for a piece. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's worth it. It's worth hers. It's worth it. But
Is that shit made of gold?
it's just. I mean, what a dick. Sorry, that's what happens. Frollo would have gotten my vote, but Kevin, is it Frollo or Maleficent?
I gotta go for Maleficent only because of the gem popping mobile game that I was hooked on for months playing that Maleficent game. It's kind of like Candy Crush, but it's Maleficent.
Get to vote and the win 4-1. Moving on to the next round. Kate starts us off. Kate, from Robin Hood, is it Sheriff of Nottingham or Mother Gothel from Tangled?
Oh, this one's an easy one for me. Mother Gothel. She has got there's just so much. It's very complex. Talk about a legacy. That's generations worth of trauma she's putting out there, right there, in that moment. And also, it's a hair thing. I always go with who's got
Just
better
a damn
hair.
baby snatcher.
It's hard to steal a magical baby. There's only like 97 of them in the Disney universe.
Kate does have a tendency to vote with the babies.
I love my. I have a new baby. She's upstairs. Adrian.
On that one. Mother Gothel gets a vote. John, is it Mother Gothel or Sheriff of Nottingham?
Yeah, this is easy because Sheriff of Nottingham's not even the villain in that movie. Like, he's just a henchman. So it's Prince John is the villain in that movie, and it's got to be Mother Gothel. She's like, I mean, she's dastardly. She's the worst. She's easy.
Like
yeah,
a million years old too.
Yeah, there's that too.
I mean, that's ageism, but again, you're not wrong.
Kate and I are doing, and this person on the show is doing a recasting of the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights coming up.
Oh yes,
Ooh.
yes.
Lovely.
The reason that we haven't set a date yet is because I'm trying to figure out what 5 people in that movie we're going to recast.
You can't recast Dave Chappelle. I mean, Dave Chappelle's perfect.
Well, no. See, that's the thing, though, is that I'm trying to figure out who's the most important. That's a challenge.
It's
the challenge is that, the challenge is that because even replacing Robin Hood,
No.
because Carrie Ells is
He was perfect.
great
perfect.
in that movie. He's perfect. He's the only Robin Hood that can speak in the
British accent.
British
in,
accent.
yeah, in the
You didn't
English
like
accent.
Costner's
Unlike
attempts?
other Robin Hoods, he
So,
can speak with an English accent.
And with his
but that's what I'm saying, though, is that what
tight
we're trying to do that. So having the sheriff is not the major villain in that one. I personally think in the movie Robin Hood, the sheriff is the actual villain of that one. So it kind of threw me
100%.
off on that particular one. Shay, is it Mother Gothel or Sheriff from Nottingham?
Well, it's funny because as soon as you said that, I was like, can we change it to the Sheriff of Rottingham instead? Because then that one, yes, but in Disney, he's just a dumb lackey, and I mean, Mother Gothel was very calculated in everything that she did, so she deserved to be pushed off that out of the window at the end of that. So definitely Mother Gothel's the worst out of that.
Pascal's facial expression when he just kind of pulled the hair.
Can I ask a group question? Considering Mother Gothel, she's all about her hazelnut stew. Isn't that just coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside
Bothered me
jokes.
for years.
Yeah. Kevin, Mother Gothel, Sheriff,
Mother Gothel. That one's easy.
and Bubbles. Finish this out.
I absolutely love the cartoon Robin Hood. But I definitely agree. Sheriff of Nottingham is not the villain in that story. He was really just doing his job. And back then, like whoever was on the throne was who you follow. And, some people were like revolting, like those with Robin Hood. And then there were some that were following King's orders. So he was just
Sheriff
kind
didn't
of
even get a
revolted.
good song.
Yeah.
So Mother Gothel's going to be my vote as well.
Gets a vote and the sweep in this situation. John starts us off. Is it from Nightmare Before Christmas? Is it Oogie Boogie or Gaston from Beauty and the Beast?
Oh crap! This one is hard. Man,
That's what she keeps telling me.
Yeah. Oh shoot. I don't. Ooh, this is a difficult one because they're two of the best. I don't know that he's going to take it, but I think Oogie Boogie is like legendary. He's literally like falling apart. He's rotting. He's awful. He's hideous. He's horrifying. Gaston is just a guy. He's a terrible guy. Yeah, I'm voting for Oogie Boogie here.
Oogie Boogie gets a vote. Gaston is what Bubbles would affectionately call a douchebag, or however the fuck he pronounces it.
It's a douchebag.
Douchebag.
A douchebag.
The king of them, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Oogie Boogie is literally the boogeyman, which is one of the few mythical creatures that envelops every continent. Like every old school system has a version of the boogeyman. So Oogie Boogie is the original
Baddie.
just baddie. So I mean, for me, that's what I'm saying. But I do love Gaston too. Gaston isn't that good. His little partner dude has some of the best one-liners in LeFou has some of the best one-liners in the live action remake. I just like the entire. You're so athletically inclined. Anyway, Oogie Boogie gets that particular vote. Shay, is it Oogie Boogie or Gaston?
Yeah, I feel like if you were to like pit the two up against each other, like Gaston would be going the other way running because like Oogie's gonna get him dirty or something, mess up his hair, but like Oogie would kick his ass. So it's Oogie all the way.
Oogie gets a vote. Kevin, is it Oogie Boogie or Gaston?
I gotta go with Gaston because Oogie Boogie, he's the boogeyman. He's just doing his job. Gaston's just a dick to be a dick. So, I mean, Gaston.
Gets a vote, Bubbles.
So I feel that Gaston is definitely the embodiment of toxic masculinity. The fact that he himself had a whole fucking town like, here, let's go kill this beast because, he's actually being kind to this girl that I'm interested in. The fact that he sits there and he like, oh, women shouldn't read, women shouldn't have ideas, like that can like tear an entire society down. Whereas the boogeyman, yeah, he's representative as a bad guy, but Kevin's right. He's just doing his job. He's got to keep these kids put in line. Like, listen, go to bed or Oogie Boogie's coming to get you. Like, they've been assisting us in parenting, or he's been assisting us in parenting for decades or centuries or millennia.
Would you say he's Team FTK?
Probably. I would assume so. He's like, I'm on board with you guys. I am all in.
Gaston gets to vote on that one, which means it's a tie-breaking decision coming down to Kate. Kate, is it Gaston or Oogie Boogie?
So I'm literally sitting in a Beauty and the Beast theme room right now. You can see the
That's
rose
cheating.
back here, but I just realized how sick there's a.
Oh.
It's like a whole thing. That aside, my second favorite movie is Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm with Kevin though. He's doing his job and he's operating in his environment. Like he's in Halloween Town. The idea is you're supposed to be scary. You're supposed to be kind of mean. Gaston is just French, which I mean, yeah, I get the mean, but the
But he
scary
can't
evil
speak
villain that's
French.
voluntary. Maybe he can. Maybe he just has his
No, he
accent
can't.
really well.
There's an entire line where LeFou's like a certain je ne sais quoi,
Like what?
and he's like, I don't know what that means.
Okay, but he does that in the live action, and the reason why that's funny is je ne sais quoi is I don't know. So technically, he's accidentally speaking French.
Yeah, he's
But
right in such a wrong way.
exactly. But also, I think the thing is, so Gaston uses what he has that could be an advantage for him to help others or level people up. He uses charisma. He uses his objectively okay looks, and I mean, I'm in it for the chest hair, literally nothing else. But he uses all that to hurt people and to manipulate people and get what he wants, and that's a villain. Oogie Boogie was told, here's this. These three children showed up and said, here is an old man in a suit. Do with him what you will. So if anything, like he had more cause. He's helping. Somebody invaded his home by accident in a bathtub, and he's just taking care of his space. Plus, he's made up of a bag of bugs. Can you really blame him? I mean, bugs are notoriously poor decision makers.
I would like to say the reason why Sandy Claus was down there in the first place is because the three kids on a mission from Jack to get Santa Claus to Jack took him to Oogie Boogie because the kids were so afraid. The kids knew that Oogie Boogie had such a certain power that he
one could say
that wanted to appease him. So wouldn't that still be kind of a fear tactic?
I would say, if anything, then the villain in that becomes Lock, Shock, and Barrel, not Oogie Boogie, who was just dealing with the problem that was brought to him. He didn't say, fetch me Santa Claus. They were like, Jack told them to take good care of them. And they were like, oh, Oogie Boogie is the best place to take care of him because we're in Halloween Town. And so we would obviously take him to the big bad because in Halloween Town, that's like, there's our equivalent level. So we're just going to bring him there in our claw-footed bathtub that walks on its own because that's what was important for stop-motion animation at that time. Groundbreaking.
I keep smacking my mic on here. So is it Gaston or Oogie Boogie?
Oh, it's Gaston.
I thought, but I wanted to make sure. Gaston, spelled correctly, moves on to the next round, 3-2. We went from a sweep to a split. And Shay starts us off. Shay, is it from the movie Up, Charles Muntz, or from the movie Aladdin, Jafar?
Well, so I actually haven't watched Up, but I know enough about it that I would definitely have to go with Jafar.
Jafar gets a vote. Kevin?
Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I cannot vote against Jafar.
It is in my top 5. Bubbles, Jafar, Charles Muntz.
See, when it comes to Charles Muntz, like, he was so obsessed with his work that, like, somebody came in to, like, fuck it up and shake it up. Like, I kind of understand that, because when I clean that living room and these tiny humans come in and they're like, let me shake this shit up for you, like, I get a little bit ham. I go ham, and I'm like, you fuck yeah. And then I have to pull myself together. He just can't figure out how to pull himself together. He just needs a little therapy, and I think he'll be fine. Jafar, on the other hand, you know, he is definitely, he's pretty dangerous. He likes power. He wants all the power, and he will go to extreme lengths for that. And so overall, I feel like he's definitely more of the villain.
Jafar gets another vote. Kate?
I feel like Muntz has just got a touch of the dementia about him. Like, paranoia is a part of the process. I work in healthcare. It's a thing. We see it. But then there's Janir, Jafar, wherever you are. I'm picking Jafar. I maybe drank a little too much limoncello. Choices have been made.
And John finishes out. Is it Jafar or Charles Muntz?
Yeah, I'm not going to sing. And
Aw.
Kevin, it's not my favorite, but it's probably number 2 on my list. Aladdin is number 1. I'm sure we'll be along here shortly. All day long, it's Jafar. Easy.
5-0, going back to a sweep on that one. Kevin starts us off. Is it from Aristocats? Is it Edgar Balthazar or Shanzu from Mulan?
Fuck, I don't know. I'll go with the Mulan one.
Shanzu gets a vote off of that one. Bubbles.
Mainly because I don't know,
asshole?
remember. I don't remember Aristocats.
I'm just saying though, what kind of asshole just leaves her fortune to a bunch of cats? Okay, so really, I'm pretty sure the lady is the villain here.
Yeah, I don't blame the guy as much as.
Yeah, but
Like-
what butler assumes he's going to get the inheritance?
I
Well,
mean,
not
the
that-
whole lot
Just
of
thing.
tries to off a bunch of cats. What,
Right, like-
psychopath.
He's a cat murderer.
because then that's my follow-up. Like, okay, what happens after these cats are gone? If she chose cats over you, what do you how far are you ranking here? Okay. Shanzu, I have respect for him because when it came down to the end of the movie and just kind of looking into a little bit of like Hun's history and shit like that, like they actually did hold women to the same kind of power and respect when it came to being a warrior as they would a man, which, you know, in Asian culture is not always common. But the fact that that particular group did do that, I totally have respect for it. So I'm going to go Shanzu on this one. Just because Edgar is just petty and I don't feel like he should move on.
I mean, you devote your. Don't get me wrong. Like if you devote your life to this one person type thing, and then for cats. I mean, I'm a dog person for one, so that kind of throws it off. And I do love this movie. What is it? Thomas the Alley Cat is one of my favorite Disney songs of all times. Just it is. But I sympathize with them. Shanzu, as Bubble said, I have massive respect for him. He did this entire thing to expand the honor of his country by invading a country that he didn't like, and I appreciate that. So I'll be split on this one. Kate, is it Edgar or Shanzu?
I mean, I think the real crime and the real villain on this is that house being left to all the alley cats in Paris. Can you imagine the smell? If someone goes near that with a lighted match, she's created an accidental building bomb. It's not even a pipe bomb. Like that, health and sanitation gone mad.
I mean, it's Paris. You never know.
I mean, it's Paris. And yes, you know, bathing culture is a little bit of a different thing, but there's a difference between I forgot deodorant and 942 cats live in my basement. So I can't really, I mean, and I'm not a big cat person. I don't know. But I'm with Bubbles on this. Like, as far as the Huns culture, I think that, you know, they do hold women in a higher level, which I certainly appreciate. I also think from a villain standpoint, I mean, Edgar attempted to murder 4 cats. Shan Tzu decimated half of frickin' China and then waited till the end, till he was in the city to get distracted by ugly concubines and then be taken down. So I feel like if we're going to rate the badness of 2 people, almost 4 cats versus, I don't know, like what, 3-4 million people, not quite the same level. Shan Tzu gets my vote.
And the win off of that one. John, is it Shanzu or Edgar?
Okay, so my vote doesn't matter anyway at this point, which is fine. And so
I
I'll be
mean, it always
contrarian.
matters, but
Of course, sure, but I'll be contrarian because I'm going to predict that in a few matchups, we're going to be saying a very different thing about a villain that wants to murder a bunch of dogs. We're going to be talking about Cruella de Vil here in a minute as the worst of the worst. Meanwhile, Edgar, who wants to do the exact same thing, except he doesn't just want to skin him, he wants just the cash. But we're going to be saying terrible things about Cruella. But Edgar, he's just whatever because he's an old bald guy. So my vote goes to Edgar, even though it doesn't count.
Edgar gets a vote. Shay, finish this out. Is it Edgar or Shanzu?
Well, I don't want Edgar to go on because he's just a piece of shit human being who tried to murder a bunch of cats, and screw him. But obviously, Shan Yu is the bigger bad guy.
4-1 moves on to the next round. Bubbles starts us off. Kate will be back as soon as she can. Bubbles, is it Captain Hook from Peter Pan or Yzma from Emperor's New Groove?
I love the Emperor's New Groove. Like, that's one of my favorite freaking movies of all time. I feel like it should have definitely got way more hype than it did. Oh man. I also love Captain Hook, and I always like to picture him as the Once Upon a Time version because, oh God.
He was dreamy.
Yeah, he was.
He just had a lot of redeeming qualities and was very athletically inclined.
Exactly.
It was the eyeshadow. That's what
It was definitely the eyeshadow. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pass the parcel.
I knew that was coming off of this one. Bubbles is passing the parcel to me. That means it is either Captain Hook or Yzma to me. I love Emperor's New Groove. Emperor's New Groove is not. It's a kids movie, but it's not a kids movie. It reminds me of the point of like a lot of Bluey episodes where you get a lot of inside jokes for adults in that show. And there's one particular scene in Emperor's New Groove that makes me laugh every time, where Krunk is laying on the ground in his sleeping bag, but the only part in the sleeping bag that covers him is, yeah. So he's quite literally popping a tent in a children's movie. But there's a whole bunch of different type things, and I was on Temu yesterday, not a sponsor, it could be, and they have a door mat, like a floor mat for outside your door to wipe your feet on. For everybody out there who doesn't know what that is, it quite literally says "wrong lever" on it. And it makes me laugh that she's just, and call me ages too. I don't. It's the entire. Some of the comments that are made about her during the movie and everything else just makes her the perfect villain in my particular thing. So I'm gonna go with Yzma on this one because it's just the vote. Kate, is it Yzma or Captain Hook?
Why do we even have that lever?
That was beautiful.
Yeah, again.
That was beautiful. I enjoyed that.
She's just such a good villain. She's just bad for the sake of being bad, with some really strong motivations that are financially based. And as a woman in that culture at that time, short of sleeping your way to the top, murdering is definitely an option. And I can't fault her for that. Yzma gets my vote. Captain Hook's just out there pirating.
John, is it Yzma or Captain Hook?
Yeah, so I said that my favorite one would come up in a second probably, and this is it. I love Emperor's New Groove. I think it's hilarious. Patrick Warburton should get like all of the Oscars and stuff for it. But my favorite is Peter Pan. So my all-time favorite Disney movie is Peter Pan. And you've got Captain Hook, who wants to murder a bunch of small children, like all the time. That's what he wants to do, is kill children. So, and make them walk the plank and all that kind of stuff. So Captain Hook is always going to get my vote. He also gets something because like his end that he finds himself in is one of the best, which is eaten by a crocodile, or almost eaten by a crocodile, as the movie sort of ends. Kate, you look perplexed by what I just said.
So my thought is he's not trying to kill the children. He's trying to kill Peter Pan.
Well,
If
he
you've ever
makes
read the
all
book,
of them walk the plank. I love the books too.
I
Yeah.
mean, but that kids are expensive. I mean, you got to knock a couple off. It's only so far. Campbell's soup only goes about 12 meals before you've had too much.
That's fair.
But I feel like in the books, Peter Pan is killing the kids as they get older anyway. So really, he's kind of doing a favor and stopping him from stealing more children. He's just a misunderstood vigilante in heels.
Yeah, and this does beg the larger question, which is: are we only Disney movie focused here, or do the other things count in
You vote on whatever guidelines you see fit, there, sir.
That's how we do it at Bracket Champions too. But yeah, Hook gets my vote all day long.
Hook gets that particular vote. Shay, is it Captain Hook or Yzma?
That's a really hard one.
So they keep telling me.
On the scale of badness, really, I have to go with Captain Hook on that one, because I mean, Yzma is just trying to climb her way up the corporate ladder, one throne at a time.
And anybody who's worked customer service understands why she's so angry.
You got to do what you got to do.
Listen, if I could pull a lever and make certain people disappear instead of complaining, I would know why we have that lever.
That pit would be full pretty quickly. Just saying.
Fact.
Yeah, they just climb on top of each other and get out by the end.
All right, Kevin
About 4
finishes out.
hours.
You are tie-breaking decision, and since I the way that I do matchups, I pulled the wrong one. I've done this twice now because I'm not fucking paying attention. We know who is going to be facing in the next round. So do you want to know who is facing before you vote?
No, because I know exactly who I'm voting for. Anyway, when I think of villains, Disney villains, and we're talking Captain Hook here and Peter Pan, I think of the Dustin Hoffman version of Captain Hook, which I believe is the best Captain Hook of all time. So I have to go Captain Hook, because Hook wears the hook.
Rufio.
In a split vote and a complete turnaround, by the way, Captain Hook moves on to the next round. Kate, is it the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland or Scar from The Lion King?
Well, fuck you, Freddie.
Yeah, that's definitely a fuck you, Freddie.
It don't reach that far for either one of you. So
this is hard. Okay. Because like Scar shouldn't be out there murdering his brother, but I'd be lying if I said I'd think about it at least a couple of times.
no pun intended.
Obviously not. But the Queen is, I mean, she's more of a stand-in for madness in a lot of ways. I actually worked at an art museum. We did a whole thing on Alice in Wonderland. We did a whole exhibition, which was really cool. I actually really like the Queen of Hearts as a villain, with how obnoxious she is. Definitely can't relate to her. I guess I'm gonna go. I mean, Scar's real name in the Disney canon with the books is Taka, which means poop.
Was it poop or was it trash? I thought it was trash or garbage.
Maybe it's trash. It can be both. If you throw out a diaper, it's also trash. It's kind of the same thing. And just with lion culture in general, I think usually like they're the one kind of gets ousted. So I don't know that I could. And he builds a following. He has his own little family. Dang. All right, I'm gonna default to my usual way I pick. I don't pass the parcel. I look at the hair. All right, I'm gonna go with Scar. The mane is luscious.
Main's kind of scraggly, but okay. Scar gets that particular vote on that one. John, is it Scar or Queen of Hearts?
Yeah, this is an easy one. We did Disney villain bracket at Bracket Champions a few months ago, and I had Scar as a 4 seed, which I thought was reasonable. But then he turned around and won the dang thing, won the whole thing. So Scar's popularity really kind of came out of nowhere for me. I love Alice in Wonderland. It's fine. I don't know, like, it's a good movie. It's kind of wacky, psychedelic, but Scar is, I mean, just positively Shakespearean, right? So
Well, yeah, it's friggin' Macbeth. So
yeah. It's Scar all day long.
Scar gets another vote. Shay.
Yeah, I immediately want to say Scar because I love Alice in Wonderland, but I anymore always think back to like a live action Alice in Wonderland, and the Queen of Hearts was just such a little whiny brat. Granted, she was tricked by her sister, and that's why her head is so large. So I mean, you can't fault her for being a little upset about that, but Scar is definitely a much better villain in my opinion.
Gets the vote and the win off of that one, Kevin.
So yeah, this is definitely a fuck you, Freddy, because I do love Alice in Wonderland. But that said, Scar, that scene where he drops Mustafa into the stampede is one of the few scenes that have actually made me shed a tear. So I have to go with Scar.
Long live the king. Bubbles, finish this out. Is it Scar or Queen of Hearts?
So the Queen of Hearts kind of makes me think of like Nepo babies. Like those who've like had it all the whole time, and when they don't get their way, it's off with their heads, like that's kind of, and which is dangerous in itself. Like that is obviously off with your head because I don't like your opinion. I don't like that. It's not what I want, like that is dangerous. Scar on the other hand, he's fucking clever. Like he went out and he got the opposing team to side with him and like go, and he was successful for a while, but like clearly it was the clear like, look, not everybody should rule kind of thing, and he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyways. So as far as being more proactive in their dangerousness, which I mean technically Scar was kind of fucked over to that point, and I don't know. Like I'm gonna go with Scar as well. I am gonna give it the sweep on this one. Yeah.
Scar moves on in a sweep to the next round. We'll be right back right after this break. The bastards that we currently have right now is just myself and Bubbles, of course. Neither of us have anything to promote. However, Shay is auditioning for Bastardhood. So Shay,
Yes.
do you have an ad for us this week?
Well, so I believe it will be next Sunday. You can catch the live interview. I apologize, for some reason my video is completely frozen.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
why.
noticed that too, and I'm sitting there going like, it's weird.
Yeah, I've tried to turn it on and off to get it to work, but it's not. So, Glenn and I did an episode this morning that we filmed with a lovely lady named Allison Dunlap Shanes, who is an exorcist and an upcoming priest over in Scotland. So that episode will be coming out for the Paranormal Guys, I believe, next Sunday. And then I'm always on Paranormal Guys on Wednesdays, occasionally on Grin and Guardian Gang on Fridays, and Misfits on Saturdays.
And Kevin, Kate, and John, as you can tell how that was just done. At the end of round one, you will have your time to shine, of course. I don't know if Bubbles just knocked down her camera or covered it, but one of those two.
I just covered it.
Oh, covered it. All right. Welcome back for the second half of round one. It looks like John starts us off on this one. And John, is it Robert Callahan from Big Hero 6 or Sid Phillips from Toy Story?
Yeah. Again, this one sort of passes the or fails the name test for me because you said Robert Callahan and I didn't know what movie you were talking about. Without saying the name, like he's not going to win. But Sid, all you had to say was Sid, and I knew exactly who it was. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think Sid is the worst villain in the world. I think he's just like kind of a creepy kid. And not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I took like my GI Joes and took them apart and kind of swapped sometimes the pieces and whatever. So he's not that bad, really. But Sid still gets the vote.
Sid gets that vote on that one. Shay, is it Sid Phillips or Robert Callahan?
So I did have to think there for a minute on who you were talking about with Robert Callahan, but screw that guy. He's a piece of crap. Like blew up the building with Takashi in it and all that crap. Yeah, screw Robert. He's worse than Sid. He's just a misled child.
Robert Callahan gets that vote on that. That's what I'd agree with too. Name test aside, because I think name test kind of has to do with age as well. Sid Phillips has had a lot more time to get his name out there. Toy Story came out like 95, I believe. So it's been 30 years since Toy Story came out. I know, Kate. I got that same look on my face too.
That was rude.
So 30 years ago.
I wasn't born yet.
All right, that was worse. Thanks, Shay.
You're welcome.
And I'm not for certain on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 95 because I think it was the first Pixar movie that
I think you're right. I think it
came out.
That's the year I graduated high school. I think that's right.
I graduated kindergarten and got a brother, and I remember watching it when he was a baby. So I think that's probably. I have to make somebody else feel older than I do right now. I'm so sorry.
Seriously, I dropped high school and kindergarten like that. All right.
I was nine.
At least
9
we were
years
alive.
old when Toy Story came out. But so what I'm saying though is that Sid Phillips had a lot more time for his name value to come out. I don't think Robert Callahan will ever actually get the name value as much because his villainous is not in Robert Callahan form. You don't realize it's Robert Callahan until the end of the movie. Sid Phillips, his name is dropped multiple times, and Sid Phillips was a villain from the beginning of the movie. Robert Callahan was a villain at the end of the movie, and that's it. There's another guy in the movie that is portrayed to be a villain. Spoiler alert for a movie that's over a decade old, but if you're on a Disney,
is it really that old?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, but
it don't feel like it's been up that
I know
long.
it doesn't, especially because I still listen to some of that music. But I think from what happened in the movies alone, Robert Callahan, even though he did what he did for good reasons, being a father myself, I can understand that. I would still go with Robert Callahan because
Big Hero 2014.
Yeah, so 10 years.
Dang.
10 years.
So
Decade of it
on the nose. But yeah, Kevin.
Very underrated movie too, I believe.
It really is. I wish it would have gotten more play. There's another movie that came out that year that just ripped everything apart. And Big Hero 6, I think, just got kind of lost in the mix on stuff. And I feel bad for it, but it's a damn good movie. Kevin, Robert Callahan, Sid Phillips.
Well, seeing as I've actually never seen Big Hero 6, and
missing out.
Yeah, I have seen all the Toy Stories. It's got to be Sid. Yeah. And that does make me feel old because I graduated high school in 1996. So, yeah.
Oh, and I was born in '96.
Come on.
Come on. See, I already feel old, and you just made me feel older.
You're welcome.
Unnecessary.
Kate, that's a tragedy. I just saw that.
There you go, Kate.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so
all, it's all gone.
so I think
You want,
Go
you
get
want
more.
some of these?
I'm gonna. If
I
my
got some
camera turns
Rolos
off,
to
you know where I
share.
went. Oh, Rolo's almost as good.
so. I think Shay is probably the youngest one here, because she's
28.
so she's 28. I'm in the middle somewhere. John, you're either John or Kevin is the oldest one here.
I've got Kevin by a year. I'm 46.
I'm
It's
46 as well.
So
You
22
look great
year,
for 46, John.
Thank you.
22-year age
What the
difference
hell?
between.
And
I know.
Kevin, you look athletically inclined.
What the hell? We're
Kevin,
both
your beard is
46,
so
and
much
John,
better
you
than
look
mine.
great.
My point
You
in
look
this,
awesome.
I was
where-
admiring your beard.
Okay, thank you.
my point is that there's a 22-year
beard.
age difference talking about Disney movies.
Mm.
So
I love it.
like, yeah, that's my entire thing. Bubbles, is it Sid Phillips or Robert Callahan?
First off, Freddie, Disney is timeless.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
For the next forever, I'm pretty sure people are going to be comparing and talking about the same Disney movies. Like, even if they're reimagined or reinvented or anything like that, it's still going to be there. Now, as far as like this matchup here, honestly, like Sid, like it's crazy because it's like the toy's perspective of this kid. But being that I'm not a toy and I am a person and I have Sour Patch Kids myself, like sometimes they just rip the heads off of dolls. Like I can tell you right now, I have an entire bucket of like heads and bodies of like LOL dolls from My Tiny Humans, you know, and I could see as a toy, like, oh my gosh, that is awful. That's terrible. But my kids, they just want to go ahead and like swap heads and bodies and outfits and things like that. Like they don't see it as being like this big villainous thing. Robert Callahan, on the other hand, he killed people. Like he actually like killed people to get what he wanted, which really that's more so of a villain's mindset. Like screw the many and care for the one, which, you know, is absolute love. But again, that more so makes up a villain. So for my vote, I'm going to go with Callahan on this one.
Well, and that's not all the only real rule that Callahan broke either. Like he stole.
Oh, technical difficulty.
Best freeze frame ever.
I was gonna say, did Freddie? Is he just? That was
No,
a good face.
my thing went off. I don't know. Well, I'm not sure where it was, but so he.
You look
so
like this.
He
Robert
stole
Callahan.
his last
Robert Callahan he burned down a building. He stole a little kid's tech and his dream of doing pretty much anything. Killed his brother in the process as well. And then, in the entire time before this happened, he was bringing down the name of the person that eventually got blamed for doing all of this by the kids. Like, there's multiple things wrong with this guy. Sid Phillips didn't know the toys were alive. And after all this happened, you see him later on in like the third movie where he's a garbage collector.
Yep.
And he takes care of toys. Like he even put Lotso in the prime position on the front of a garbage truck. If that's not love for toys, I don't know what is. Gave him the best view.
But he enabled Lotso, who is the worst of the worst. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah. By the way, Lotso Bear will be on this bracket as well later on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, having said that, it is a tie game. Kate finishes this out. Kate, is it Sid Phillips or Robert Callahan?
So
And
I'm glad.
you, since we're on the second half of round one, you get to know who is facing the next round. Do you want to know this?
I always want to know.
All right. It is either Robert Callahan or Sid Phillips, both with 2 votes each, going against Ursula in round 2.
Okay, so
Ooh.
whoever wins is going to lose. Cool, got it. So I'm glad you mentioned the garbage man thing, because I was going to say that about Sid. And if you think about it, as horrible as Sid is, he's doing a lot of creative inventing too. I mean, he is rebuilding these pieces. It's kind of like a Frankenstein, like Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster sort of situation. And Callahan just blew people up. Like we know about Tadashi, but there's how many other people were in there that didn't run back in and leave a hat behind for us to know that they definitely died in the process. I mean, there's got to be at least 2 janitors back there that are just real pissed, just ghosts right now. They're just trying to get their job. Maybe Sid was in there taking out the garbage. I mean, he might have done everybody a favor. So as much as I dislike Sid as a concept, I don't like the idea of toys getting taken apart. I have horrible OCD, so the way I played with my toys is I lined up all my Barbies in to make sure all the earrings matched and stuff like that. I did the opposite of taking them apart. It kind of goes back to when we were looking at Edgar versus Shan Yu. Edgar tried to kill 4 cats, Shan Yu murdered 1 million people. Sid attempted to take apart some plastic pieces. Callahan murdered a bunch of people. I feel like if we're looking at the badness of the people, the adult murderer wins over the kid possible psychopath / inventor. And he's going to lose to Ursula anyway.
Yeah. Fair.
He could be both. I mean, they do say that a lot of big CEO people are actual psychopaths. They just use their energy elsewhere other than unaliving people.
Well, and maybe that's why Callahan was so upset with, the other guy, Cray. He was upset with Cray because he was an equal psychopath, but with less murder. Really, this is just a lot about workplace violence.
Just a lot less murder.
Listen, if we're gonna feel this strongly that we got to take out an entire building, we might need to go to therapy. I do fully encourage.
Somebody
that.
talk to Frollo.
Clearly, San Francisco does not have universal health care, because this could have all been avoided.
Robert Callahan moves on 3-2 to the next round, faces Ursula. As said, Shay starts us off. Is it King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph or Ratcliffe from Pocahontas?
So it has actually been a long time since I've seen Pocahontas, so I don't outright remember him. But when I was contemplating the different villains in my head, because my niece and nephew had made me watch Wreck-It Ralph so many times, I was like, King Candy is just a piece of crap. So I'd have to go with King Candy, because if you're going to put an indigenous person up against a computer virus of sorts, I don't know how well that's going to go over.
Well, Ratcliffe was the governor.
Oh yeah.
Person?
The one in the purple.
Yeah,
The one
he
doing
was
the colonizing.
Yeah, he was
he
a colonizer, not the thing. One of my favorite lines from the Pocahontas movie is says it's from the song "Mine," which is the banger and a half. But it says, "I would love to help you boys, but I got a crick in my spine." That, as an associate of a larger company, irritates the crap out of me when your boss wants you to do something but won't actually do it themselves, type thing. So it just pisses me off. King Candy had a point. King Candy was getting passed over because he was from a previous game that was just not getting played anymore because it had a glitch in it. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for King Candy, you wouldn't have the hero of the story in Wreck-It Ralph, one of the heroes in the story being Penelope von Sweets.
Wasn't it Vanellope?
Vanellope, sorry. Vanellope. I was one of them.
Vanellope von Sweets. She is one of my favorite characters.
You wouldn't have her because you wouldn't have the entire glitch in the system, because he's the one that actually created the glitch. So fair. Because he was trying to get out. So realistically,
well, now that I know which guy you're talking about, I'm going to go with the other guy from Pocahontas.
Okay.
King Candy's just a refugee with bad intentions.
Yeah. Anyway, Ratcliffe gets that particular vote. Kevin, is it Ratcliffe or King Candy?
I'm gonna go with King Candy because I enjoyed Wreck-It Ralph better than Pocahontas.
I can't fault you on that one. Bubbles, is it Ratcliffe or King Candy?
You know, with Kevin, I do agree. I think as far as entertainment wise, I find more joy in watching Wreck-It Ralph. However, I am also going to go ahead and go with Ratcliffe on this because, like, he's a realistic living villain, like in real time, in real world, not just cartoon.
True.
So,
An actual
Ratcliffe
person.
gets a vote. Kate, is it Ratcliffe or King Candy?
I think I misspoke earlier. I said he was a refugee with bad intentions. He was a refugee with leadership intentions that he just didn't manifest well. And we're going with like glitch in the matrix versus like smallpox blankets. I feel like Ratcliffe is clearly the worst of the two.
Computer glitch, issues with the government.
Yeah, are we like upset because like the candy is now sugar free, or are we upset because of genocide? I don't know what you feel strongly about, but I certainly have strong feelings about the quality of my candy. But genocide is bad. I think we can all agree. So Ratcliffe, no.
Gets a vote. John, you avoided the tie-breaking decision on that one. Is it Ratcliffe or King Candy?
So since my vote doesn't matter at all, I'll just go ahead and cast a vote, not for King Candy, but for Alan Tudyk and his incredible voice acting skills. So I'll
He
go
is
with King
really
Candy for
good.
that.
I mean, Hey was mwah.
Come on.
Speaking
Chef's
of
work.
him as well, we are doing a bracket dedicated to him
There you
next spring.
go. There you go.
It is
go.
on the calendar.
Team
somewhere.
Wash. Let's go. Yeah.
he
Yep.
also
Yeah.
played the toucan in Encanto.
Yes. And
And
Encanto is now like my favorite Disney movie.
It's
He
wonderful.
is more than For the Birds.
Yes.
Yes.
What is it? Resident Alien is going to be in there too. Firefly. There might be a entire subsection of just like TV shows that he's been in.
We just got a
I'm
trailer
so
for Moana
excited.
too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
So
called
there's
Moana
that.
as well.
Moana also.
3-2. Ratcliffe moves on to the next round. Kevin starts us off. Kevin, is it? I'm going to pronounce this wrong, and I do apologize for all you Disney fans out there. For Princess and the Frog, is it Dr. Facilier?
You got it right.
Or
You're right.
did I? Sweet.
Yeah, Facilier. You're good.
Dr. Facilier, or from 101 Dalmatians, Cruella de Vil.
Oh, easy, Cruella de Vil.
Fuck
It's
you,
Cruella
Freddie.
de Vil. It's Cruella.
Cruella de Vil gets a vote on this particular one. Bubbles, is it the Good Doctor or Cruella de Vil? I said it correctly once, maybe twice. I'm not going to try my luck again.
Man,
Unless it gets forced through, and then I'm going to have to. But
this one's difficult. Because Cruella, like, she is out there. She's doing a job, really. She's in the fashion world. And I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, a whole bunch of Dalmatians to make a coat is a bit ridiculous. And I'm glad it kind of like provided a, hey, we should probably not be slaughtering a bunch of animals just for fashion kind of thing going. Dr. Facilier, he's a witch doctor. Like, he is New Orleans witchy, man. That is
The OG.
right. Like, I sit there and I kind of want to meet him, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I just have so many questions and curiosity with his, like,
just don't shake his hand.
I'll
Right, I
ask
don't-
from the opposite side of the street.
You know, and I feel like, it's difficult because he has so much power just from like having the magic and being able to work with the dark forces. But Cruella, she's got the money because she's been in the fashion industry for a while. I mean, so that comes with its own set of power.
And I mean,
You still have a load to blow if you need it there, dear.
Glenn Close Cruella is
Right? She was
beautiful.
spectacular.
Love the Emma Stone Cruella too.
I was
So,
gonna say Emma Stone
Yeah,
was
Emma Stone was awesome.
amazing.
That thing with Emma Stone one, it kind of got the villainous away from Cruella because you gave her a backstory that is kind of
That's
sad.
what they.
Good.
That's what
Yeah.
they did with Maleficent.
She's
But it
still
was a
pretty
good
bad.
one
Yeah.
though.
And that's the reason I went with Maleficent as well. Is I love that backstory that kind of more so humanizes the villain. Like I absolutely
Like
dig that.
I get why you're bad, girl. I get it.
Right, and it kind of gives you a little bit of sympathy towards it, and I totally dig that. Like oh god, this is, oh man, like I can't just like, I can't pass a parcel and blow a load in the first round. Like that sounds like I'm weak here.
You're wimping out.
And there's nobody in comments right now either. So
And there's nobody in comments. Oh man, watchers out there, like, how are you not being helpful right now? You know what? I am also gonna go ahead and go with Cruella just because I totally dig her backstory, because it, although it humanizes her, it kind of shows like, look, her mama was a little bit cray and she's a little bit cray, and you know, and no, technically you can't really forgive the cray because
It's not really their fault.
right, you can't like blame them, but you can't forgive them either, because there's got to be some accountability somewhere. You know, but it was what, the 60s, like they didn't really have the mental health access that we have now, so, but she did have the money for it, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Cruella.
Cruella de Vil gets a vote off that one. Kate, is it Cruella de Vil or Dr. Facilier?
I mean, Prince Naveen had it coming. He was a little shit. I don't know that I can be upset. And again, we're going back to like someone just doing their job. Like his job is to be a witch doctor. His job is not to do your taxes. Like he's achieving what he set out to do. And Cruella was calculating how many square feet of puppy skin she could have, which is not math. Like I'm not good at math. I don't enjoy math, but that's not math I feel like anyone should ever do. I think
Agreed.
Cruella's a lot worse if we're talking about like, and also she's a more complex villain. Dr. Facilier is just kind of like one note witch doctor. We don't know why he's got friends on the other side, and that's lovely. I'm glad he's good at maintaining relationships, but I don't know the why.
It's a pretty long distance relationship.
I mean, well, the other side is it long distance or is the veil just thinner in New Orleans?
Definitely is.
It's just thinner in Nolans.
One thing that was brought up.
Thank you, Shay.
I can't remember what episode this was brought up, but it was earlier on about Cruella de Vil. Have any of you guys ever had short hair dogs at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one right now.
They shed still just as bad.
Yeah.
Well,
Big time, yeah.
It's not even that. Like, I've there's no type of short hair anything that I would want to wear. Like if you've ever worn like freaking horsehair type
Are
clothing.
you saying you want to wear long-haired dogs?
Freddie would prefer to have like a poodle jacket.
I would.
Okay.
I would much
Like a
rather.
poodle skirt.
I would much rather have
This is
like
my
a
skirt made out of
fake mink coat or something like that, because it's
Want a
longer, softer
Malamute
hair.
coat if you were to pick
Yes.
a dog.
I
per
just,
se.
A husky jacket.
is anyone into
Only
like
if it yowls as well.
Or
like the
I
smell?
do wear
Like,
husky jeans, so
No.
we have husky jeans and a wet puppy coat jacket. I feel like the smell, or just
Wouldn't be
none
good.
of it. It's like almost like the 940 alley cats in Paris. Does that smell worse than 100 dead dogs on a coat?
Yeah.
100 wet dogs on a coat.
Sorry, 101. 101.
101.
Well,
But
wet
there
dead
was
dogs on a
102. There was
No,
a
There was
no.
102. Oh,
It
Oddball,
was
Oddball got her
puppies, and
spot.
puppies smell really good. Like,
It
I
was-
don't know if you've like held a
The
puppy
puppy
and just like almost like
Puppy breath.
babies, how they have that new fresh
oh.
smell. Puppies also have like their very own like new fresh smell. And so if you're doing puppies, then they still have that puppy smell, not the wet dog smell.
I feel like any kind of wet fur is gonna just smell
Bad.
wet.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
And the
not
original count
using
was
the word.
99 because the original count for puppies was 99 and not 101 because they were counting Pongo and
Perdita.
Perdita.
Pretty,
thank
yeah.
you, Perdita,
Well,
as the 100 and 101. They had 101 Dalmatians. So there's that one. Corella gets Kate's vote on that one. John, is it Corella DeVille or Dr. Facilier?
Yeah. First of all, I don't think wet dog smell applies when it's wet with like the blood of the skinned animal. I don't think that's the same
Yeah.
smell as like the
It's a
dog
little
that just came in
irony.
out of the rain.
is that
Yeah,
more damp
irony,
versus
but not
wet?
in the way that we might say irony in other.
It's like a giant scab,
Yeah. Like a wet scab.
like a wet
huge, smelly
scab
wet
on a
scab.
dog.
That's horrifying.
I'm really glad I decided to eat before the show. Like,
yeah.
I'm really glad I decided to drink during it.
So
Look, I'm not even gonna lie, I
cheers.
like gross things, so I can still eat. I got this. I have been puked on. I have been backdoor blowout from babies on. Like, look,
I got puke in my hands 2 days ago.
I quite literally yesterday cleaned shit out of a carpet because my son pooped his pants. Didn't want because we tell him that if he has, because he's going through potty training right now and he's good like 99% of the time, but there's always that 1%. He's going through potty training, so we tell him that if he comes down with a dry underwear on, that he can play with his tablet that day, type of thing. If he doesn't, he doesn't get a tablet. So I went up in his room the other day, and my nose has been off since I just my sleep schedule and everything else has been off. So I thought I smelled something when I sat down, but I'm like, well, we just got a new bed in the other room, and it has that weird plastic smell with it and everything else. So I thought it was just a weird combination with everything going on. My son, which I found out 3 days later after this shit happened, no pun intended,
literally
behind the chair I was sitting on. Shit. The only good thing that it was a solid shit. Like it wasn't like wet or anything else. But what he did is he covered it up with clothes that was sitting there so he could hide it.
like you do.
Like a
Like
cat.
we do. But the only problem is that
cat.
the chair is a rocking chair.
oh,
And he was right behind the chair. So
no!
all the clothes was just kind of rubbing the shit into the carpet back and forth. And I finally went up there. I'm like, I know this is not the bed anymore because the bed's been covered and clean and everything else. I can still smell this. So I went through his room and everything else, started picking up all the clothes off his floor, threw it down the chute, and noticed there's a solid turd sitting on the floor and like it's mushed into the carpet.
But, so wait,
So
like,
yeah,
so
I understand gross things.
briefly, that means you confused the smell of a new bed
with shit.
with a shit.
No, the thing was though is that it's this
Where are you buying
new bed.
Did you
Yeah.
buy the bed from the woman with the 940 alley cats?
This new bed is like wrapped up in plastic, so you have that really
Side of the road and said
Yeah,
3 on it.
I've never smelled plastic and been like, that smells like a
That
3-year-old.
smells
no.
shit.
What I'm saying is that
Oh my god,
plastic
there's
smell.
times I'll get an Amazon package that's got like a funk smell to it, and it's like
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that wherever they're shipping it from, it like seals into the plastic. So when you
Mm.
open it, it's raunchy. Or I don't know about anybody else, but like when I'm opening my bag of potato chips and it farts in your face and you're like, huh! And it just like suffocates you for 2 seconds. Like I feel you on this, Freddie. Like we
Well,
have situations sometimes.
My
I
point
just-
was my point on that one was this: not the plastic didn't smell like shit. The plastic covered up the smell of shit, so you couldn't
Okay.
narrow down.
Your
Now
son
where it
didn't
was,
just eat
it
like
mixed.
a bunch of Legos.
It mixed with it. So it's just kind of a weird smell. I'm like, I don't know if he if there was like he pooped his pants and threw it down the laundry chute, because there's a laundry chute that connects all 3 floors of the house
Oh
all the
God.
way down to the basement, and you can
Sorry.
like he threw it in the laundry chute, and it's just kind of wafting upwards type thing, which has happened before. But yeah, that's what it was. So like as far as gross things go,
Pretty gross.
I have stories. Team FTK every once in a while, majority of the time.
I feel like my worst smell ever was diabetic foot wound, but you might have me beat.
No.
All right, John, we're on you. We're on you.
Yeah, I think so. And listen, my kids are all they're all grown up now. My youngest one is 17. So like sometimes I'm like, I wish they were little again. I no longer wish
No.
they were little again after this conversation. Ever, never. I don't even remember what the matchup is. Oh, yeah, I do.
Corella
So,
DeVille versus Dr. Facilier.
very quickly so we can move it along. This is an example of when matchups stink. So like Facilier would have demolished like a whole bunch of the people that we've already talked about if he
Mhm.
weren't going up against Corella. Because he's truly scary. He's actually scary, like demons and stuff. But it's Corella. It's Corella all day long.
Gets a vote. Shay finishes out. Is it Corella DeVille or Dr. Facilier?
Yeah. I kind of want to hang out with Dr. Facilier a little bit to see what he's got going on. Like, you know, I'll stay over on this side. I'll just watch you while you're doing your thing over there.
You stay on the other side?
Don't ask me to repeat anything. I'm just gonna watch, hang out. But fuck you, Corella, for trying to kill all the puppies. Go to hell.
In a sweep, 5-0, moves on to face another sweep in the next round. DeVille moves on. Bubbles starts us off. Bubbles, is it Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco, or from Frozen, Prince Hans?
As far as this matchup goes, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I have this one's not my favorite matchup. I don't really care too hard for it, and I already know it's not gonna make it far. This is about as far as it's gonna make it. I'm gonna go with Prince Hans on this one. You know what? Actually, I think I might go on Kate's, like, who killed more. Prince Hans, he really didn't exactly kill anybody. He was just trying to expand his country. Ernesto, though, he ended up killing his best friend, and was not ashamed of it. So I'm gonna go with Ernesto on this one.
And stole his songs and all that.
And stole his song.
The thing with
And
Prince
his
Hans, though,
future.
is that Prince Hans had the ability to save somebody, or at least thought he had the ability to save somebody, and didn't do it. In fact,
because he didn't love her. So if she's like, "Kiss me, my true love," he's like,
All right.
"Listen, I would rather you just think that I'm a fucking asshole than kiss you and you find out that way, because then that's almost like trickery. That's like."
but yeah, but then you sit there and goes like, "Too bad nobody loves you."
Well, in that moment, objectively speaking, he didn't know that anybody loved her. He hasn't had any dealings with Kristoff, so he's like, yeah, kind of speaking the truth a little bit there.
Right.
Her sister abandoned her. She has no parents.
Sisters.
Yeah, and he kind of operated as the Office of Emergency Management for a country he just entered. That's pretty solid.
You got a point. Anyway, Bubbles, what's your finals?
Technically, Hans wasn't the one that like would have ended up killing her. Like ultimately, it would have been Elsa, and technically, that makes Elsa the villain because she couldn't just hold her shit together. Like
She had to let it go,
come on,
man.
bro, you're queen now. Like there's training.
He did try to kill Elsa, though.
No, he captured her, and then he
No. When they were on the lake, like he went to shove his sword from behind into Elsa.
But he did think that's how they would stop the winter. So if Elsa hadn't frozen everyone, Hans wouldn't have had a villain arc. He just would have been a really shitty husband.
Yeah. I mean,
There you go.
eventually that would have been a villain. Like I guess technically deep down was just a born villain. But he just wanted his own place to rule. I mean, I'm from a large family, and you know what? Sometimes, listen, I know that I'm loved. However, I also am aware that I am not the favorite in my family by any four of my parents. Okay. But you know, when you got 13, at some point, one of them is going to figure out I'm absolutely not the favorite here. And I'm going to go somewhere where I can be the favorite. I feel it. I can understand that.
Ernesto de la Cruz gets a vote off of that one. Kate, is it Ernesto de la Cruz or Prince Hans?
I mean, I'm full on with supporting Bubbles with my previous statements. I agree. I think Hans, while he's not a great guy, I mean, he showed up at a kingdom, found one of the two princesses, which is what everybody was going there for anyway, and then like did the best he could in a weird situation until, you know, the murdery bits, but he didn't actually murder anybody, and he thought that killing her would like he literally says like he's got to kill Elsa, bring back Summer, and take over the world. But Ernesto purposely targets and kills and destroys the legacy of his supposed best friend, and totally screws up the entire rest of his family, his friend's family moving forward. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. My kids just walked in, and one of them is 3 and not wearing pants. Guys, get out of here! Shut the door. I'm so sorry.
They're not on camera. We're fine.
I'm holding up hands to make sure nothing could be seen. Sorry. Anyway,
like,
De La Cruz. Yep. Bye. The guy. Yeah, you know what I mean.
De La Cruz gets that particular vote on that one. John, is it De La Cruz or Prince Hans?
I sincerely hope one of my kids doesn't walk in the room pantsless, because that's a whole different thing at my age. Yeah, 3 for 3. I'm going Coco here because we can't downplay the like artistic theft part of this villainy.
Mm-hmm.
That's significant, and I just don't really like Frozen all that much. So, yeah, Ernesto
gets the vote and the win off of that one. Shay, is it Ernesto de la Cruz or Prince Hans?
I'm gonna have to go 4 for 4 on that with De La Cruz, because I mean, like, you know, Coco was just looking for somebody, and he's leading him along, and then just piece of crap.
And Kevin finishes out.
Yep.
Yep.
well said.
De La Cruz goes on 5-0, faces a 3-2 in the next round. Kate is back, not having to worry about the pantless wonder on this one. Kate starts us off. Is it the evil queen from Snow White, no name, or the bowler hat guy from Meet the Robinsons?
Oh, I just watched Meet the Robinsons this morning by accident.
You watched
this
it?
One's yeah, well, it came on. I didn't realize that's the channel we had on, and I ended up watching it sort of inadvertently. But I think the evil queen is just such a better villain of the two. One is just trying to justify the fact that he didn't sleep for like 10 years, and I can't blame him.
And stuck in an orphanage.
Yeah, he's stuck in an orphanage, no sleeping, kids probably running around pantsless. Like, honestly, I also would steal a 10-year-old's invention and try to pass it off as my own and all that fun stuff. And the evil queen, I mean, granted, if they had Botox back then, she probably would be fine. But, you know, she did try and murder Snow White. She wasn't good at it, but she tried. So body count's still a little higher. Evil queen.
Evil queen gets a vote. John, is it evil queen or bowler hat guy?
Yeah, Evil Queen is the OG. I mean, she's the one. She's the first and the worst. Bowler Hat Guy's not even really the villain in the movie. It's the hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and he's just sympathetic. We love him by the end of the movie. Spoilers. It's Evil.
Yeah, we gotta love Goob.
Yeah,
Goob.
Exactly. Goob.
Goob gets Goob does not get that vote on that one. Shay, is it evil queen or bowler hat guy?
Oh yeah, Evil Queen all the way. I feel bad for Goob. He had some probs. No parents understanding his trauma of all the years, just being freaked out by him.
That movie is completely underrated. It really is.
Totally.
Evil Queen gets to vote and the win off of that one. Kevin, is it Evil Queen or Bowler Hat Guy?
I'm going Evil Queen, but I'm going for the Evil Queen from Once Upon a Time because Lana Parrilla as the Evil Queen is super hot. So I got to go with that version of the Evil
I was
Queen.
watching that intentionally before this.
Yes. Ooh.
And Bubbles, hold up.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
That was a good one. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, I have a new ASMR that I can participate in. Freeze-dried candy.
Yes.
It has the crunch, and then you just sit there and you let it melt in your mouth, and you get, oh my, everything about it.
It's like coming up Pop Rocks.
Yeah, I was gonna get some before I came home today, and then I was like, no, because I had like a whole bag to myself twice this week. So that was not a healthy choice, and I got to back off there. As far as like the bowler hat guy, like he really like it kind of shows like a super shitty situation if you think about it. Think about like the foster system and like how many kids are just kind of lost in that system. And poor Goob, like he's sitting there and he's expressing his feelings to these families and not a single one of them fucking cared. So clearly none of them needed to be a parent because like me as a parent, I'd be like, oh man, some kid fucked up your chance. You know what? No problem. Why don't we practice together? You come home, we'll get some rest. We'll go and we will do all the baseball things. Like I am not good at baseball, but let you show me, I show you, you know, like it's really sad that nobody actually took that kind of interest in Goob. Until he did win the championship and felt good, like
and nobody bought him some right fitting clothes,
and
right?
No one put him on thyroid medication. Look at those eyes. That kid's got thyroid eye disease,
right? You know, so I feel like he was a villain because like he was stuck in a shitty situation where people should have cared and they didn't. And too often, you know, talking to other people that have been through the foster system, you do find that to happen more often than it should. And it's very sad. So anybody who has the ability to or thinks about it, I totally recommend doing it if you can, you know, or just, you know, being a big brother, big sister to somebody who needs some help. The Evil Queen, on the other hand, she is the OG. She is the baddie. She is like, let me see here. Look, I'm the hottest shit in town, and I won't let no little girl come and take my thunder. What a bitch. What a bitch. But so she's definitely also going to get my vote, and she is also my ears for today. So yeah, the Queen of not Queen, the Evil Queen has my vote today.
Evil Queen moves on 5-0 to the next round in a sweep, faces another sweep. And John starts this one off. John, is it Lotso Bear from Toy Story 3 or Chick Hicks from Cars?
Oh crap! It's Lotso. Like when we did our Disney villains bracket, we only did Disney movies. We didn't do Pixar movies, so we didn't get to engage with some of these. But had we, like, I guarantee you Lotso would have been up there at the end. Like, he is evil personified. He's the worst. Easy choice.
I don't know. Stinky Pete was pretty up there in the second one.
I like the second one, but Stinky Pete at the end of the day is just kind of like an old man. Lotso is kind of terrifying.
Stinky Pete can lean on it's probably dementia.
Yes.
Defense.
Yeah.
Much like.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Okay, Boomer. Like, it's fine.
Get off my lawn and into a suitcase.
Lotso Bear gets that particular vote. Shay, is it Lotso Bear or Chick Hicks?
Definitely Lotso. I wasn't a big Cars fan, but I didn't feel like Chick Hicks was nearly as big of a villain as Lotso was. He was just a piece of shit.
I was looking at the movies, and Cars Cars really doesn't have a villain.
Yeah.
Just doesn't. Like the only villain in Cars would be Chick Hicks, and he gets shit on the entire movie. Like even when he wins, he still loses. Type of thing. He gets shot.
Lightning McQueen's biggest enemy is himself.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
He's just a douchebag card. But Kevin, is it Lotso Bear or Chick Hicks?
It's Lotso Bear. I mean, for all the reasons stated before me, yeah, it's definitely Lotso Bear.
Gets another one, Bubbles.
Listen, Chick Hicks, he's just out there doing his job. So it comes down to it. He is out there. He is doing the thing. He is there for the views. He is there for the entertainment purposes. He is there for the intention. Like that is his whole. That's exactly what he was actually like built for. So could we really blame him for being like, look at me, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to win? He was just an asshole doing his job. So Lotso Bear is my vote. Sorry.
All right. And Kate finishes out with Lotso Bear or Chick Hicks.
You know, the more we have these conversations throughout this episode, the more I'm realizing that Disney just has a lot of workplace violence.
Yeah.
I'm really concerned about what state their HR department must be in when it comes to these cartoon characters. And Lotso is a piece of almost flaming, should have been flaming trash. So he gets my vote.
That smells like strawberries.
It smells like taco is what it smells like.
Lotso Bear moves on 5-0, faces another 5-0 in the next round. Shay starts us off. Is it John Silver from Atlantis or Hopper from Bug's Life?
Treasure Planet.
Oh, sorry. Treasure Planet. That you're right. I don't know why I wrote that down.
Those two movies are closely aligned in my head too.
Yeah.
because of
I think
the
they
time
had the
came
same
out.
lead animators as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which doesn't help.
I don't feel like, because I have not seen Treasure Planet, I only know some about it. And it has been a long time since I have seen Bug's Life. So I'm going to have to pass the parcel on that one.
Oh,
I don't
I
know
was not
enough I don't know enough to make an educated guess on that one.
this is I appreciate it. This is 100% Hopper. I apparently didn't remember enough about John Silver enough that I actually put him in the wrong movie. So there's that one. Hopper, however, Hopper's a dick. He's a dick for a good reason. Like he's there to provide food for his entire
Didn't he
group
end
and
up-
everything else.
Didn't he
And-
end up being kind of like a dad figure too, though, at some point?
Hopper or John Silver?
John Silver.
does.
John
Yeah.
Silver definitely does. Yeah, even in like the book it's based off of.
No.
Treasure Island.
The thing with Hopper though, he's just scared. The good thing about Hopper that he does eventually gets his comeuppance because he gets eaten by a bird that he thinks is not a bird. So I appreciate that one. But one of my favorite villains of all time has got to be Hopper, even though Bug's Life gets confused with ants all the time, and kind of fitting that it's going against Treasure Planet gets confused with Atlantis all the time. So there's that one.
All the
But
time.
Hopper gets my vote on that one. Kevin, is it John Silver or Hopper?
I do not care about this matchup whatsoever. I was going to pass the parcel. So I'll just go Bug's Life. Whichever one is Bug's Life.
Well, it saves your pass the parcel for later, I guess.
Yep.
Hopper gets that one as well. Bubbles, is it Hopper or John Silver?
Okay, these are both just people doing their jobs.
Bubbles' constant refrain.
But so as far as like Silver, he is a pirate. Like that's what he does. That's what his expectations are. It does. Like I love that they took, Silver, or they took Treasure Island and kind of did the spacey thing with it, which is great. It's cool. It's awesome, and I absolutely love that movie. I will just watch it to watch it. FTK because I'm doing it on my own. Hopper, on the other hand, he's kind of the embodiment of government. So he even states, listen, there are more of them than there are of us. And if one of them, it shows that they can stand up to us, more are going to show they can stand up to us. And the more that stand up to us, the powerless that we are. You know, and I think there was a really great message in that to kind of like, hey, not cool. So as far as villains go, with John Silver, there's definitely redeeming qualities about him. He does become like a father figure to a young Mr. Hawkins. And Hopper, on the other hand, he was like, nope, I want to stay in power and I'm going to do what I need to do so. So Hopper is got my vote.
It's the vote and the win off of that one. Kate, is it Hopper, John Silver?
Yeah, I think it's clearly Hopper. Hopper's one of the few Disney villains that is truly just a straight villain. There's not some kind of complex backstory. There's no real redeeming qualities. He's just there to take advantage of the work of other people to better himself and his cronies. Whereas John Silver, like we talked about, he becomes a father figure. And at the end of the day, John Silver does the right thing. In a way, John Silver is kind of the hero of the Treasure Planet story, because he helps the hero become the hero. He's the facilitator of the hero's journey. So Hopper's the clear bad guy.
I'm gonna piggyback off Kate with that one. Like, she's absolutely right, because in all technicality, as soon as he noticed that this kid was taking him on as a father figure, he could have had him like twisted. He could have twisted him into a shitty person. He could have twisted him into a fucking one of the pirate dudes, but he didn't. He kept him still like on the straight and narrow. Like, look, you're not going to step out of line. This way is up, this way is down, like a true father figure trying to guide his kid into the right path. Like, at any one of those points, he could have turned around and said, nah, like, let's go and let's steal some shit. And he did not. So props to Silver.
And John, finish this out. Is it Hopper, John Silver?
Yeah, we won't hold it against John Silver that he has the worst fast food restaurant named after him. It's Hopper. Clean sweep. Let's go.
Long John Silver's not a sponsor, and it's probably not going to be now.
Sorry. Do they still exist? I don't even know.
They do.
We have them in Jersey at least.
Captain D's, we love you. Come on, Captain D's.
Oh, I am so with
believer.
you, John. I am so with you on that, John.
What is Captain B's?
Captain
D's.
D's.
It's the same thing. It's the same. It's
but better.
Seafood, fast food, seafood. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, if we could switch out our Long John Silvers for Captain D's, I'd be there all the time.
The idea of
I'm
just
a firm
fast food
believer-
seafood is so gross.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer that that Long John Silver's is a front for some kind of criminal enterprise. Do you ever see anybody coming in and out of Long John Silver's? You don't.
We have one here open, and it's there's no cars in the parking lot ever.
I don't think
Like,
we have them here in Tennessee anymore.
I only ever see them
I was
paired
walking-
with like a KFC, and I don't think anybody
the combo
orders from there. Yeah, so they're there, but I don't know. I mean, it's more like the sign. It's like a Dippin' Dots and a Dunkin'. Like, which one are you actually ordering from when they're combined together?
I was walking from a bar to McDonald's one day, and I ended up having to go to the bathroom really bad because the bathroom in the bar was, one, really disgusting, and I'm a guy, so I couldn't go into the girls' one. But I ended up dipping into a Long John Silver's because I needed to use the bathroom, and I knew I wasn't going to make it to McDonald's, so I dipped into Long John Silver's. Nobody there. Went in there, went to the bathroom, came back out. Still nobody there. Place was open. Everything was lit up. I even looked for because I haven't been there in a while, and I honestly wanted some freaking hush puppies because their hush puppies are pretty good. I don't think anybody was actually working there that day.
They were probably all out back smoking.
Maybe it's like the Berenstein versus Berenstain Bears. Like, we all remember that Long John Silver's exists, but if we look a little closer, like, is it really?
I don't think it's there. Anyway, Hopper moves on 5-0 to the next round. Kevin finishes out round one with this one. Kevin, is it Hades from Hercules or Chef Skinner from Ratatouille?
I'm gonna go Hades. No real reason, just Hades.
Hades gets a vote. I like Hades, to be honest.
Same.
Hades is one of my favorite characters. Bubbles is there. She is. Bubbles, is it Hades or Chef Skinner?
Oh man. Again, Chef Skinner doing his job. Like, he can't have rats in a restaurant. Like, it makes
so is
sense.
Hades.
Keeper of the underworld, you
He's
know.
doing his job. But like, Hades is a god, so he's kind of he's forever. He lives forever. He's gonna be there forever. He's gonna do his job forever. He was fucked out of his job. Like, fuck Zeus. He's really the villain here.
Mhm.
But if we're just going strictly off of Disney version, I am going to pick Hades. He is definitely my favorite, one of my favorite Disney villains overall.
Mm-hmm.
Hades gets a vote off of that one. Okay, is it Hades or Chef Skinner?
This really is Bracket Bastards HR edition. I'm gonna go with Hades.
He wasn't gonna
John.
let the Nepo baby happen.
I know. John, is
Nope.
it Hades or Chef
Doing his
Skinner?
job.
Yeah, shout out to more incredible voice work, this time from James Woods. Villain in real life, villain in the movie. Yeah, Hades.
Same hair.
Same.
Pretty
Oh, is my
much,
hair
yeah. Pretty much.
Ed Shea finishes out. Hades, Chef Skinner.
Hades all the way.
Hades gets a vote, and the win moves on 5-0. Faces another 5-0 in the next round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 16 sweeps. 16 possible matches are sweeps. So you guys are agreeing quite well. We'll be right back right after this break. Going down the line, Kevin, Kate, and then John. John, being a first time here, you have the ability to do your ad last, so you can get a broader range of what everything is. Kevin, what you been up to?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just podcasting on the Mod Squad network, where we have like a movie show, a gamer show, a horror show, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. Also, I'm on Back to the Retro Review, where I do movie reviews from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, I should say. And I'm sprinkling in some tech reviews in there as well, so definitely check that out.
And Kate, what you been up to?
So I have been booking comedy shows up and down the East Coast. And as always, everyone can find me last Sunday of the month, every month, at someplace else in Waterford Works, New Jersey, hosting the Don't Call Me Shirley live comedy, stand-up comedy show. And also have my book, Mommy Needs Coffee, available on Amazon. And the other one is still not up, so I don't want to talk about it.
Still not the. That is still one of my
It's
favorite
living a-
names for a bars. By the way,
Oh, thank you.
go the entire somewhere else. That's one of my favorite names for a bars I've ever heard of, because you always hear people going, I got to go somewhere else. Just
Yep. It lives up to his name. I love it there. It's great.
I've never been, but if they want to sponsor the show, since I'm giving them props, they're more than welcome to.
I'll tell Kathy.
On. What you been up to there, sir?
So, over at Bracket of Champions, we're having a good time. You can check us out at bracketchampions.com. Most of the fun conversation, though, happens in our Facebook group. Right now, we are in the middle of a super fun bracket, mini bracket, and we're doing the Brat Pack in honor of the new documentary coming out here soon. We're in the middle of a Brat Pack bracket, affectionately calling it the Brat Kit. And right now we're in the final four, which is Molly Ringwald, Emilio, Rob Lowe, and Anthony Michael Hall. So we'll vote again on Monday.
We are back for round 2, and it looks like Bull starts us off on this one. Bubbles, is it Robert Callahan from Big Hero 6 or Ursula from Little Mermaid? You're on mute, by the way.
I'm glad you told me. Fuck. Ursula is out here. She is collecting souls. I'm gonna go on like the soul collector side of this, because I mean, both of these people, they're just kind of like, we're just, oh God, they're just doing their job. One's a loving dad. One's just someone. There, she's just the sea witch. So everybody already knew that. I mean, and honestly, Ariel was told by several people, don't sign that shit too. Like Flounder told her, Sebastian told her, her dad was like, look, don't go near her because she's not a good person. She chose not to listen. I mean, could Prince Eric's D really be that good? Like, she didn't even know at that point. Like, she's putting it all or nothing for somebody she didn't even know was good.
And she was only, what, 16?
Material. You know what? I am gonna go with Callahan on this one.
Robert Callahan gets a vote. Kate is not here, which means her pass the parcel moves on to me. I'm gonna go Robert. Room? No, she's not. She's grabbing her charger right now. Robert, I'm gonna go with Robert Callahan on this one, mainly because I know Ursula is gonna be moving on off of this one, but I think Robert Callahan has more props needed to him. Plus, all those poor, unfortunate souls ended up surviving at the end of the movie. Again, spoiler alert for a movie that's like 50 freaking years old now. Or not 50. It's in the 30s, but still. Robert Callahan did actually kill a guy that we know about, probably more, talking about the entire janitors from the past. So Kate loses her pass the parcel because she's not here, and we'll be going for Robert Callahan. John, Robert Callahan, Ursula.
Yeah, you're insane. It's Ursula. She's the best one in the whole bracket. She has the best song in the entire villain verse. Like, she should be the #1 overall seed. Like, you're absolutely cuckoo pants. It's Ursula all day long.
I disagree with the top song.
Poor Unfortunate Souls is better than any of them.
No. Hellfire. Hellfire is my favorite villain song of all time.
See, I got to go with Go the Distance from Hercules.
That's not a villain song, though.
That's not a villain
song.
Well,
I'm just saying best Disney songs.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a different story.
It's a good
villain song's a different thing, though. You're going to go villain songs. Poor Fortunate Souls is up there. I don't know if Hercules even has a villain song, to be perfectly honest.
No.
Yeah,
he does, doesn't he?
I don't think so.
Wanna Be Like You is a damn good villain song. A song from a villain.
Yeah.
It's a song from a villain. It's not like a villainous song. It's a song from a villain.
Be Prepared is pretty good.
Be Prepared. It's up there as well. There's a whole bunch of damn good villain songs, but I can tell you that Poor Unfortunate Souls is up there for me, but freaking Hellfire is by far my favorite for me. But again, it kind of to each their own. And Poor Unfortunate Souls should be #1 for me because Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney movie. But
Mother Knows Best is a banger too, though.
That's probably #2.
Yeah, exactly. Mother Knows Best is freaking fantastic. Shay, is it Robert Callahan or Ursula?
So, I'm looking at this as like if we're putting Ursula up against Robert Callahan, she's just gonna smack him out of the water, grab him with her tentacle and flop him around, and flotsam and jetsam will get him. I feel her intentions were even worse. I mean, she turns into a giant sea monster. Robert Callahan can, I forget what those darn things are he uses. Yeah, Ursula's going to kick his ass.
100%.
Ursula gets to vote, which means it's a tie-breaking decision coming down to Kevin. Kevin, is it Robert Callahan or Ursula?
Oh, it's going to be Ursula.
Ursula gets to. Yep. Ursula gets to vote.
I was stunned. I came back to that being a tiebreaker.
I know that That's because since you were gone and your vote got passed, it was passed partial to me on that one. And I went for Robert Callahan because he has a larger murder history.
Did you not see her garden of emaciated
Yeah,
troops?
souls, but they were all they all came back to life at the end of the movie.
The ones that didn't get
They're-
eaten by the eels.
So they are forfeit, and that was never said. So Ursula moves on 3-2 to the next round. Bubbles. Is it speaking of Mother Knows Best, is it Mother Gothel or Cruella de Vil? And she knew this was coming because she has
I knew
support
it.
in front of her.
I do, and I've been staring at it this whole time, and I'm like, I don't even know which one to choose. Because I love Cruella. I mean, my daughter loves Cruella. She has like a little Cruella outfit and the wig and a hair bow, and like I love Cruella as a character. Mother Gothel, on the other hand, like she is a manipulator. Like she sat there and she like gaslit. She was like a narcissistic parent, and that could have changed Rapunzel's whole. Like she could have also been a villain herself, you know, which is wild that she didn't like. You know what? I think overall, I think I'm going to go popularity on this one. I'm going to go with Cruella for my choice on this one.
Cruella gets a vote. My thing with Mother Gothel is she kind of screwed herself by keeping Rapunzel's birthday on Rapunzel's birthday.
Yeah.
Should have just set a different day, like a week
Yeah,
before.
Strategic
there's
error.
360 up to 366 days in a year, and you couldn't have picked a single day out of that wasn't a celebration of the real person's birthday type thing, because then she questions it. It's like this one thing happens every year on my birthday. I want to go see it.
Yeah, why
Like,
did she
it
even give her
wouldn't
a calendar?
I wouldn't even told her when her birthday was.
She
But
didn't
that would
even
make me a
have to
villain.
know. She didn't
She
even
could've
have
been
to
like-
know that it was her birthday.
It's like, I
She
don't
know
know
what
when your
babies-
birthday is.
Well, she didn't even have to know birthdays were a thing. Mother
Exactly.
Gothel raised her, so
Yeah, she could have just been like, "Oh, it's like a mushroom." The spore theory. That's how we create. There's no such thing. Babies don't come from anywhere. You fell out of my left leg.
Spontaneous generation of humor.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's like Olaf
both-
when he sneezes.
both of these, by the way, are sweeps last round. Okay, is it Mother Gothel or Cruella de Vil?
I'm actually gonna go with Mother Gothel on this one, even though she's an idiot who gave a teenager in the 1300s a calendar. I think overall the amount of damage that she's done. Also, again, we're going back to body count. Cruella never tried to really kill anyone. Mother Gothel stabbed Flynn Rider. And like he didn't
She
die,
broke
but
the smolder.
he was gonna.
Dave's
She
gonna
broke the
die.
smolder. And yes, we shouldn't know how many square feet of coat are in a puppy, but at the same time, you shouldn't stab people. Happy people just don't kill their husbands, as we know from Elwoods. So you don't stab
True.
your daughter's daughter, your kidnapped victim's boyfriend is not very nice.
Mother Gothel gets a vote on that one. Kate just voted. John, is it Mother Gothel or Cruella de Vil?
Yeah, this is one of those matchups where either one would be super great. Super happy with either one, but I have to go with the puppy skinning maniac. If nothing else, just for her driving ability or lack thereof.
Jay, Mother Gothel
Very
or
British.
Cruella de Vil?
So normally I would have to go with, the skin and the puppies and everything. But again, I feel like Mother Gothel probably has the street smarts that Cruella doesn't have. So I feel like if you put the two of them up against each other, and Mother Gothel could probably talk her way out of something. So I'd have to go with Mother Gothel on that one.
You could also like throw some hands.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, am I the only one that wants like a Disney version of Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
I think that's
that
kind
would
of
be
how
dope.
I'm picturing
That would be
all of
dope.
these. It's just like, okay, well, if they're fighting each
Smash
other, who's
Bros.
gonna...
No, no, because Super Smash Bros. It's a different format. Like I want like a Mortal Kombat simple slide screen. You only go
ripping spines out and things like that.
Yeah, like I want
Finish her.
I want Snow White to be caught up by like a basket, like from somebody swinging a basket and smack her in the face with a basket, and somebody saying like finish her.
It's
type
apple
thing.
picking
I don't know.
season, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want somebody to mod this up. I really do.
Real quick, what was John's vote?
Cruella.
Yeah,
Thank
Cruella
you.
de Vil. Which means it is a tie game coming down to Kevin. Kevin, you are tie-breaking decision. We do not know who is facing the next round there yet. So is it Cruella de Vil or Mother Gothel?
Skin and puppies, man. Cruella de Vil.
You care about skinny puppies, but not about being stabbed in the freaking kidney.
Nah, I can get over
It's like
that.
the worst way to die.
I mean, I can
Just get
go
them
to the
educated.
To
hospital.
be fair,
Yeah.
you have another kidney. Like you only need
Yeah.
the one.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm still anti-stab people, but if you're gonna pick an organ to stab, solid organ to stab.
Kidney.
Plus, a Dalmatian coat does sound pretty awesome. Just saying.
No. DeVille moves on 3-2 to the next round. Kate. We've already had this conversation. Dalmatians don't feel good to me. Kate starts us off. From Aladdin, is it Jafar or Snow White, Evil Queen? Both of these are sweeps last round.
Fuck you, Freddy, twice in one episode.
Oh, there's more coming.
I figured because math. Shit.
Nobody's blowing a load, by the way.
I'm not gonna. Oh, I thought about it. I don't know. They're both. Jafar is just such a good villain. Like you just like I like everything about him is just so exactly like it's one of those where like you want to see him succeed so he can then fail kind of a thing. It's like promoting from within. If we go back to the Disney HR. But I really like the Evil Queen. All right. Jafar crushes part of a city by just relocating castles. He probably killed more people by accident. We're gonna go with Jafar.
Jafar gets a vote off of this one. John, is it Jafar or Evil Queen?
Yeah, the Evil Queen, like we said before, is like the OG, but Jafar improves on the model in every possible way. Yeah, it's Jafar.
Gets another one, Shay.
Jafar, definitely.
I would be going with Jafar on this one as well because Jafar is not only a villain in the first movie, but he improves.
Good point.
He doesn't only become a villain. He's a villain in the first movie, but he becomes a bigger villain as he goes on in future films.
He's had time to think about his shit in that lamp. He was like, "This is exactly where I went wrong. Won't do that again."
Yeah. So Jafar will be moving on about that as well. Harley is in comments from the asylum with Harley, and she is going with the Evil Queen on this one. Kevin, is it Evil Queen or Jafar?
Well, like I said, Aladdin is my favorite Disney film. I played a friend like me in the Macy's Day Parade, so I have to choose.
Nice.
Jafar. Yeah, Jafar.
I mean, I know a lot of people can say that, or not that they played in the Macy's Day Parade, but that's still a major fucking accomplishment.
Yeah, it really
Who
is.
among us
And not
has
only
played
that,
Jafar in the Macy's Day Parade? Really?
Me, I've never played it. I don't think I
I've
could.
done it at least
mean-
7 times.
7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right
I
next
mean,
to
my
that
high
Olympic.
school band, my high school band was, and I was in the band, went to Macy's, and we actually led the Macy's Day Parade, which was really
Nice.
a really cool honor. So
Very cool.
Nice. Jafar gets a vote off of that one. Bubbles, finish us out. Is it Jafar, Evil Queen?
I'm gonna just throw this out there. Like the evil queen, she's willing to take this bitch's heart. Okay. So she's out there and she was like, nah, bring me your heart back in a box. Okay. And if she's that ballsy, okay, with the princess, how many people did she fucking step on and torture and do whatever she needed to get to the position that she was in? Okay, so the evil queen wasn't even Snow White's mom. That was her stepmom. So I'm convinced that she killed the Snow White's mom to even get to the point. So I think her body count is 100 times higher. Just from like knowing that she like just kind of her past and her history of coming from nothing to where she's at now.
Yeah, just
So-
screw my gorgeous stepdaughter.
But she didn't do it herself. She had other people doing it for her. Like, that's just outsourcing.
That is outsourcing, but that's fucking strategic, man.
Well,
like,
it's
why
an
get your own
additional
hands muddy?
expense.
Then there's
Yeah,
like
I feel like that's poor money
people down.
management.
Well, it depends.
Like-
Are they like 1099 or are they like W-2 employees?
I feel like it's got to be like a 1099 contractor, right? Because like he's
Yeah,
a huntsman. That's his job. He's not like the
Yeah.
queen's huntsman.
We'll
doesn't
discuss
need
that come
benefits.
tax season.
But at the same time, she still cared for the kingdom. Like the kingdom was still thriving. It wasn't in disarray either. Like it was still fruitful. It was still providing. Okay, so not only was she just a fucking cold-hearted bitch to step on whoever she needed to, but she got shit done. So I'm a vote for the evil queen on this one.
Yeah, but jealousy doesn't make you pretty.
No, but it does produce delicious apples.
It does.
And that's all anyone really wants, I guess.
Warm
True.
apple pie. Harley's in comments, by the way. Snow White drove her mad. Villains are that way for a reason.
I think it was her
So
own
true.
jealousy probably that drove,
Yeah,
that drove
that's
her
kind
mad.
And the
of-
reason is a lack of neurotoxins to the face.
There you go. Too much Botox.
Jafar moves on 4-1. That does mean that Jafar does not move on with the sweep as well. So that's another sweep that is off the board. John starts this off. John, is it Lotso Bear moving on 5-0 or Scar 5-0? This is another sweep versus sweep.
This is a hard one. At Bracket of Champions, when people complain about these difficult matchups, my answer is always Bracket of Champions is a cruel mistress. And I think that that's the case here. Freddie, you're a cruel mistress. I don't know that he's going to win, but I still think, yeah, exactly. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually my job. It's Lotso. I think he's worse. I mean, I know that Scar is Shakespearean and all that stuff, but I think Lotso is just more evil. Yeah, he's going to get my vote.
Lotso gets a vote off that one. Shay, is it Lotso Bear or Scar?
Yeah, I do kind of have to lean towards Lotso in that one because, like, Lotso just didn't give a fuck. Like, at least Scar was a little bit more like, hey, you get the hell out of here and don't show your face again, and we're cool. But
Scar killed his brother, man.
yeah,
Killed his
but
brother.
yeah, but
That's sibling rivalry.
yeah,
Like, that's
I
normal.
know.
Totally normal among brothers.
Yeah,
Who
I've
amongst us
just,
hasn't?
Yeah. Hasn't had our brother trampled by wildebeest. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know. I've got to go with Lotso on that one.
Gets another vote. Kevin, is it Lotso Bear or Scar?
Scar.
Harley agrees with you on that one.
Yeah, Scar.
She's going with Scar as well. Finish this out, Bubbles. Is it Lotso Bear or Scar?
Wait.
I'm not finishing. Kate's finishing. First off,
Thank you, Bubbles.
you're welcome. I got your back, Kate.
Did not look like you'd take it
Good
from me.
podcast management, Bubbles. Good podcast management.
Sorry, I'm dealing. Yeah, and she's in training
That
for
was
this,
a
so
test of the
I'm
emergency
dealing with
Freddy
comments
system.
too. So
I was gonna say, like, I like set on here, just kind of like listening and following. He's got to like do the thing. I'm gonna go ahead. I am gonna go with Scar on this one. I just happen to like his villain song, so.
So by my count right now, because I did screw something up, it is a tie game between Scar and Lotso. That correct? They're Bubbles.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. So it is a tie game. Coming down to Kate. Kate, is it Lotso Bear or Scar?
Oh shit! I mean, actually, it was supposed to end with Bubbles.
And I would say you could pass the parcel, but you already got screwed out of that one. So
No, and I mean, I don't want to. I'm responsible for my own actions as an adult, whether or not I want to be. I mean, I really hate Lotso and everything about that fascist little fucker with a passion. However, I think like if we're the villainy of Scar is just so theatrical and dramatic and over the top. Like if I was gonna get murdered by one of the two of them, I would much rather be murdered by, Jeremy Irons' singing voice than Lotso Huggin' Bear. Even though I hate him, so I'm gonna throw it over to Taka.
Scar moves on 3-2. Another sweep, 2 more sweeps off the board. Shay starts us off. Is it from Pocahontas, Ratcliffe, or from Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent? By the way, nobody's stolen a vote so far.
So with all of Maleficent's backstory, she's got a reason to feel a little peeved. Maybe don't take your man frustration out on a baby. But I would have to say that Ratcliffe coming in and trying to kill all the indigenous people and all that. Yeah, that's worse.
Ratcliffe gets a vote. Kevin, is it Ratcliffe or Maleficent?
My vote's for Angelina Jolie.
I guarantee you a lot of people have said that in the past. Bubbles, is it Maleficent or Ratcliffe?
I mean, I am down with Kevin. Like Angelina Jolie, she is just all around beautiful. Like I know that she's a Nepo baby herself, but like she definitely went into a career choice that fit her talents. Like she is definitely very versatile and talented. But I'm gonna say it, fuck you, Freddie, fucking with a sideways pull, okay? Because both of these, like I kind of want to give Maleficent more of like a pity vote, just kind of the whole idea of like the removal of her wings and what it symbolizes and things like that, because that is very touching in a personal way. But I mean, genocide is terrible, and he was chill with that. He was a-okay with that, and I don't like that. I can't get behind that at all. I can God, like I kind of want to like vote against Ratcliffe because I don't feel that he should move forward, like it's more of a voting against because like fuck him and he can go and like
I have to agree with
fall
that.
in a hole.
Yeah, screw him just out of spite.
Right. And you know what? I'm going with Maleficent just to get Ratcliffe out of here because I don't want to deal with his bullshit anymore. Like,
Kate, is it Ratcliffe or Maleficent?
I mean, again, genocide bad. Like, I think, but I see where Bubbles is coming from. Like, I feel like we're trying to figure out what is like which villain is the best or the greatest, and it'd be like which dictator is the best or the greatest, and like maybe you don't vote for Hitler in that circumstance. So I just to get him off the board, because I think we can agree that of all of the murderous people out there, he's probably the worst. So we don't want to promote him. Like hashtag don't say his name. I'll go with Maleficent to get rid of him.
Setting up a beautiful matchup in the next round. John, finish this out. Is it Maleficent or Ratcliffe?
I mean, Maleficent is like the poster child for Disney villains. Like, let's not pin all of racism and the murder of indigenous people on David Ogden's tears. I think it's okay if Maleficent wins.
Can we also hate him for his super dry freaking crackers that he just keeps feeding people? Because that's the real
Fair.
crime here is these dry effing crackers. They made it all the way from England and they still didn't get any moisture. That's rough.
Fair.
So your final is, sir?
Maleficent.
All right, moves on 4-1 to the next round, faces a 3-2. Kevin starts us off. Is it Ernesto de la Cruz or Gaston?
Still think Gaston is a dick just to be a dick, so I'm gonna go with Gaston.
Gets a vote. Bubbles.
I feel like I just came to that party late. Like, he's just a dick to be a dick. Like, I mean, like, you know what? I'm also gonna go with Gaston on this one because, again, it's so hard because these are similar. Like, they're so, because you kind of get like a whole town, a whole culture right behind you, and it like and almost like a false idol in a way. However, he was Gaston. On the other hand, he was like, absolutely, women should be in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, and that's their only role. I don't like that. I kind of like my strong independence here. So fuck Gaston. I'm gonna go. That's who he's gonna move forward. He is, because fuck him, I guess.
Gaston gets a vote. Kate.
Yeah, no one's a dick like Gaston. So I'm
No
gonna
one's
go
a dick like Gaston.
Like
No
Gaston.
one's
up
No
to
one
dastardly
creates
tricks
tricks like Gaston.
He's especially good at. I need to mute myself.
Gaston gets a vote, and currently the win on this one. John, is it Gaston or de la Cruz?
Hey, it's Gaston all day. Easy one.
Gets a vote. Harley agrees with you as well in comments. And Shay, finish this out. Is it Gaston or de la Cruz?
Well, I feel like De La Cruz was probably more in the wrong, in my opinion. But screw him. So Gaston.
5-0. Gaston moves on in a sweep, beating out a sweep in the previous round. So de la Cruz that moved on 5-0 is another sweep that's out. There are only 2 more sweeps in the entire thing left, with people with no votes against them. So Bubbles starts this one off. Is it from Mulan, Shanzu, or from Peter Pan, Captain Hook?
What the fuck, Freddy? This is stressing me out. Like, what the? I'm gonna go with Shanzu on this one. Again, just for the cultural reason behind it. Although I do want to say Peter Pan is absolutely one of my most favorite movies. I do like Captain Hook, and I like how he is portrayed in each version of himself. So shout out to that. But you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna go with Hook on this one because I just reconvinced myself. Final answer.
Hook gets a vote. Kate, Hook, or Shamsu?
Yeah, I mean, one tried to kill kids and one actually killed like a lot of kids. So I'm gonna go with Sean Yu.
Harley's going with Captain Hook on this one. John, is it Sean Yu or Captain Hook?
Okay, can I have a rules clarification for a second? If I steal a vote, that means I get 2 votes?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to steal a vote. I'm going to steal Shay's vote.
Oh, fuck you.
Can I do
Freddie.
that?
Yeah, you can.
Is that good? So can I
Fuck
vote
you,
for
Freddie.
Hook times 2? Because I think Kevin's got my back on this too.
Well,
And I
with,
totally didn't.
but the thing
I
with
didn't
that,
know
Because
idea
Shay
if you
is
were
on the
going to
right
or not.
side of history.
now
Don't
Mike,
actually murder kids.
I have a couple questions. Okay, Captain Hook gets 2 votes off of that one. Shay, you're saying that Shanzu would have gotten your vote.
Yes.
So if you did not steal that vote, it would have been a tie-breaking decision going up to Kevin. Kevin, what's your vote?
Oh, Captain Hook.
So realistically, you did not need to steal his vote, but it does mean that Captain Hook will be moving on 4-1.
Sean, you could have kicked Captain Hook's ass.
He would have had him for breakfast and he would have been upset that he missed the calories out of his damn hand.
But at the end of the day, like these are
He would have
Disney
been like
movies.
picking his
And
teeth with his hook.
Yeah,
I
like,
just,
oh,
like-
this is delicious. I'll add it to
I
the
want to
things I'll
watch
wear on my
Captain
belt.
Hook. Like I want to watch Hook every single time. So, like,
Well, yeah, because he's less
No.
evil.
Mulan had so much better
Captain
music
Hook,
than Peter Pan did.
Captain Hook is just easier to stomach in this circumstance. He's not a better villain. He's just easier on the eyes and the gullet.
I'm
I
so
mean-
glad you chose those words instead of saying he's easier to swallow.
I almost said it and then I stopped myself, and now I'm glad that you said it and not me.
Knowing
Yeah,
this
so
show,
sorry.
you know he was gonna come up.
You're dead to me, John.
look, you were stuck right after me. Like it was always.
You're dead. You're dead to me, John.
Well,
Blame
you
Freddie.
could have either stolen her vote
Or Kevin.
or Kevin's. That was your only 2 options at that particular point. Either way, Captain Hook does moves on 4-1, faces another 4-1 in the next round. Kate starts us off on this one. Kate, is it finishing out round 2? Is it Hopper from Bug's Life or Hades from Hercules?
Ah, damn. I like Hades more as a villain and just in general. But Hopper is worse. Like Hades, I mean, Zeus is kind of a dick, and Hades is like, well, screw
So-
you.
Well, I mean,
Like,
all Zeus knows how to do is use his dick. So
Exactly. He impregnates flipping everything. There are people out there that are like, they're satyrs, just walking around half horse, not knowing how to pee. Do they sit down? Do they stand? Like, there's so much confusion because Zeus just doesn't know how to put it in his pants.
there's so many demigods everywhere because of that.
It's just a mess. And then Hades is out
That's
here.
probably
like,
what happened with Maui.
That really is. Hades is out here trying to do crowd control, and Zeus is just popping mollies and having a grand old time. And then Hopper is just, he's just evil. The fact that he does not get an evil villain song with a lion background is the real crime in Disney history, to be honest. I know he's not going to win, but he should because he's horrific. I'm going to pick Hopper, but that's more on principle. I like Hades more, which is why I think he shouldn't win.
It's really funny. Like this goes down to either government or hell.
And I 100% of the time will be like, hell is better.
I mean,
hell is
the
better.
same thing.
They're really the same thing.
It's the same thing.
But like even like in the government structure, like Hades has a council of women he is consulting with. That's very progressive, and it shouldn't be. And Hopper's like, here's me and all my bros.
If it were more progressive, he would get them each their own eye.
Exactly. And it's like instead of an eye for an eye, it's like, well, an eye for an eye makes the world blind, but here's one and the 3 of y'all can share it. It's just a lot harder to put on a bumper sticker.
Hopper gets that vote from Kate. John, is it Hopper or Hades?
So using the test that many of you have used throughout if you actually put them against each other, this would be a very short, not just because Hopper's really only this tall, but it would be a very short fight. Hades. It's Hades all day long. He's the literal like embodiment of all of the evil in all of the things. Yeah, it's Hades.
Hades gets the vote on that, which knocks out both of the last two sweeps. So there's no other sweeps going forward on this one. The reason I say that, by the way, we've had one episode where there was almost a complete sweep through the entire thing, and that was Robin Williams. But Q, which he still gets shit for this, by the way, Q voted against Robin Williams because he found out that he's swept through everything so far. So in the quarterfinals, like on the last vote of the quarterfinals on that one too, he decided to vote against Robin Williams just to do that. Qualifications of being a bastard. That's what it is. Hades gets that vote. Shay, is it Hades or Hopper?
Normally, I would say Hades, but in protest to John, I'm saying Hopper.
I see you. It's okay.
I'm
It's
not
us
looking at
young.
you.
It's Shay and
I
I
would-
being the young ones. That's what it is.
In defense, I would say Hopper too. I was talking to my wife about this entire bracket, and I kind of mentally planned one out on myself what my final four would be, and 3 out of my final 4 didn't make it out of round 1. So the only one that did make it out of the final one was Hopper, and I'm surprised, but I'm not voting today, so that's kind of probably why. Hopper gets Shay's vote. Kevin, is it Hopper or Hades?
I'm gonna go with the chat and go with Harley and go Hades.
There you go.
Hades in
Let's
that,
go,
which it
Harley.
does mean
Good job.
it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to
Come on,
Bubbles.
Bubbles.
Bubbles already
Well,
has the
Be on the right side of history with Shay and I.
Bubbles has the board
Be
in
on the
front of
side
her
of
because
protest.
again, she's training for next week, hopefully. Do you want to reveal who is facing in the next round?
Yeah, I'll reveal it. I will. I'll tell you guys. It's
So-
going against.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead.
It's going against Scar.
Ooh,
Hmm.
tough one.
So like this is super difficult. Because honestly, part of me feels like no matter which one is picked, I feel like it will be a really good matchup, but we're definitely gonna be like, fuck us, man.
Aren't Hades and Scar kind of like one's the blue version of the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but lion versus grasshopper or whatever. Hopper
But the
is.
lion succeeded in killing his brother. The god did not. But I mean, it is pretty difficult to kill a god because they're immortal.
You gotta drink that baby bottle full of juice.
That
That looks delicious.
that
Oh,
depends.
it looks so good. That's gotta be cranberry.
That depends what you're going off of their Bubbles, because you said that Hades did not kill Zeus. However, in the Percy Jackson series that is on Disney Plus, which I would recommend watching, it's a damn good fucking series. It's said by whoever Edge plays, whoever Adam Copeland plays on in that show, that the gods kill other gods all the time. They just don't ever actually die. They just kind of go away for a little bit and then like come back. So it's assuming that Hades has killed Zeus multiple times by this point, but Zeus, being the bastard that he is, just keeps coming.
He's
back.
coming back.
He
Is that
does
like the
keep
rule of-
coming.
And I
George
also
and-
I don't know if anybody else like reads like the comic webtoon series Lore Olympus or Lore of
yes,
Olympus.
religiously.
Mhm.
I love Hades.
Right? So like gosh, like he is like he's top tier in that series, I will say that, but if we're strictly going on Disney version, this is where I'm struggling because I love Hades. He's so fucking sassy. He is
I feel like we could be besties.
He's
I'm gonna give him
real,
2 thumbs way, way up.
right? Like he's a villain and he fucking knows it, but he's real about it. He's like, look, this is my job. I'm getting shit done, and and I feel like that's like legit for a god anyways. Hopper, on the other hand, again, like he is the epitome of our any kind of government system. Like they like sit there and they're like, we're bigger than you, we're more powerful than you, and they make themselves bigger, and they kind of like make us forget, hey, there's actually more of us. So if we all actually band together, which I'm kind of totally digging right now, like everybody coming together and like, let's stop supporting all of these people that are millionaires and let's go ahead and let's follow each other and pay each other's bills on TikTok. Like I fucking love that. I am all about that. So you know what? I'm going with Hopper because I'm like,
Yeah.
protest, F the system.
Yeah, they come, they eat, they leave.
Just
Right.
like
Hopper
Sid.
moves.
Just like
Hopper
Moose.
moves on 3-2 to the next round, faces another split vote in Scar. We'll be right back right after this last break. Update. Nobody has stolen a vote. Or sorry,
Yeah,
not stolen a vote.
Yeah,
John did.
Sorry, John
bullshit.
did.
That's why I
Bullshit.
said. That's why I said pawn. That's why I said
Rest
pause.
in peace, Shay.
I put it in the wrong one. Nobody. What I meant to say. Nobody has blown a load. There. Nobody has blown a load. Pass the partial and steal a votes. These next 4 matchups are the last time to use those. If you do not use them past the 4th vote that's coming up, you can no longer use them. They are off the board. So, I got to cross some of these off because we're not here. Kevin has all 3 lifelines. Bubbles, you have steal a vote and load. Kate, steal a vote and load. John, load and pass to partial. And Shay, you have steal a vote and load. Again, steal a vote and pass to partial. Next 4, and then gone. Okay. Welcome back for round 3 and beyond. No more breaks after this one. And it looks like John starts us off. John, is it Ursula from Little Mermaid or Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, I believe I've made my choice known that I think Ursula is the best in the whole thing. Best villain song. She makes herself really big and gets stabbed by a boat, which who else gets stabbed by a boat? Yeah, Ursula, all day.
Ursula gets a vote. Shay, is it Ursula or Maleficent?
I'm gonna blow my load on this one.
Kevin.
I'm going for Angelina Jolie again.
The man has standards. I mean,
Yep.
Gets a vote. Bubbles, Maleficent, Ursula.
You know what? I am going for Maleficent on this one with her backstory. Her villain era makes sense, and I am all for it.
Gets a vote. Kate.
Yeah, I'm also with Maleficent.
And that means Shay, who blew her load. Is it Maleficent or Ursula?
Maleficent all the way.
That's what we call revenge, John.
hey, you know what? It turned out she blew her load for no reason. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nope, I
Sorta
just
like
wanted
you
to see
steal a
how
vote.
I just wanted to see how it turned out.
You just wanted to be the final nail in the coffin on that one.
Yep.
John, speaking of John, starts us off on this one. Is it
Didn't I just start
Cruella
with John?
de
Yeah,
Vil?
John just started that one.
Or
off.
sorry.
Started us.
I mean, I'll do it
Shay.
again. But I don't
Shay starts us off on this one.
Mhm.
Is it Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians or Gaston from Sleeping Beauty?
Gaston from Sleeping Beauty. Is this a new villain we've never heard of?
Sorry,
The one
Crossover.
speaking the
Gaston,
one speaking
good catch.
female role.
Good catch.
Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. I was sitting here reading freaking Harley's comment on the chat, and I got confused.
Gaston. Gaston's just the name of the kitchen guy.
Very- There's
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty.
there's a beauty in both of them. So it's either there's a beauty in Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast. So the
Ew,
beauty just kind of
crew.
fucked me over. Either way, is it Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians or Gaston from Beauty and the Beast?
I'm gonna have to go with Puppy Killer. Cause fuck her.
Puppy Killer gets a vote on that one. Kevin.
I'm gonna go Gaston. I mean, Cruella's evil, but she just wants nice clothes. Gaston's just a dick.
Well, she can go get her nice clothes elsewhere.
No, but she's trying to
Good
make the
Barbara
nice
does.
clothes. Though. She just
she's
can't
trying
just
to be
go out.
fashion forward. She's just trying
Yeah.
to be fashion forward. Yeah.
What if
Well-
she and Edgar collaborated and did a cat coat?
There you go.
No.
Cat,
I mean,
half cat,
I'm
half
gonna send
dog.
PETA that way. I'm gonna send PETA that way.
It smells so bad.
So you, since there's a certain person not here, I have to make this joke. So if you make a coat completely out of cat hair, would you be considered covered in pussy?
Especially.
Practically rolling it. Just one big hairy.
Practically rolling in it. Bubbles, is it DeVille or Gaston?
Stop, drop, and roll me in that pussy fur.
Oh, got a snort out of that one.
That's a person we've had all
Literally
day.
having an asthma attack. Bubbles. I don't know if it's the cat
Nobody
or you.
put her out. Just let her roll in it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, so with this one,
Is Kate okay?
You killed Kate.
I'm sorry.
You murdered Kate.
I am gonna go with, as far as like oh gosh, it's hard to say because like I'm like what is gonna be the worser person? Like somebody out there killing puppies. I mean, like I don't want to be associated really with a puppy killer, but I mean, again, this is a dude that had like a whole town backing him up. Like, yeah, no, fuck, women can't read. Like, keep women dumb, and I don't like that.
Push his
So is
Spartan,
it-
kick his ass off the top of the castle.
Right? And then we got, okay, so we have like the epitome of like entrepreneur, like woman, fucking boss mode bitch. And then we got keep the women in the kitchen. Like those are ends of the spectrum right there. Cause she was like, I don't need a man's. God dang.
You are yet to blow your load there, love.
I know. But I feel like if I blow my load, somebody's gonna pull a dick move and make me the like deciding vote, and I don't like
I'm
that
not.
either.
Hey, I'm usually the one to do that because I'm the head bastard for a reason. But I'm not voting today, so I don't have that power.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I will blow my load today. I will blow it at this point.
Kate, after Bubble blew her load, is it DeVille or Gaston?
No one's a dick like Gaston. Like he has an
Or
entire town
Or
thing,
such a prick like Gaston?
puts the cult and culture like Gaston. I mean, killing puppies is not nice, but she doesn't actually succeed. She had a vision, and she didn't know how to make faux fur yet. So she's just she's ahead and behind at the time. She's a woman out of her time, and I can't blame her for that. And Gaston is out there encouraging people to smash plates that we now know, in retrospect, were actual human beings that used to work at the castle. So back to body counts. I'm gonna go Gaston.
Gaston gets a vote. John, is it Gaston or DeVille?
I'm struggling because on one hand I want to just vote for Cruella just so Bubbles has to choose.
Not my
'Cause
power, Bubbles. It wasn't my
That's
power.
more fun.
It's only fair because she nearly killed me.
Yeah, you almost killed Kate. So,
Just-
but then I
Just
think about
remember though, Bubbles does have the board, so she knows who it could be facing in future rounds. So she does have certain knowledge that you don't.
Could you maybe bribe Bubbles to tell you? Can bribe Bubbles be a new rule?
Here's bribe the bubble. I'm thinking about what Gaston did to the egg economy of their village.
True.
All the ovaries, man.
5 dozen eggs. I mean, becoming roughly the size of a barge does not come
Hey,
easy or
but every
cheap.
last inch of him is covered in hair, so
That is a good point.
I mean,
this
same.
one's actually hard.
Surprised it's not feathers by that point.
Which is ultimately what Cruella wants, right? Every last inch covered in hair, just darker. Let's go Cruella. Let's go Puppy Killer.
I try to avoid it, Bubbles, for you, but it is a tie-breaking decision. Is it DeVille or Gaston?
Okay, so since I'm the last person and I know who it's going up against, do I get to say, or should I say? Or
I mean,
what do you guys think? Do we want to vote? Like, do you guys want to know?
I don't want to know.
I never don't want to know.
Say it.
If it goes into the way I do it when I'm doing this, because I have the board each week. If it goes into your decision-making process where your decision is so heartily on who is facing in the next round, go ahead. If not, I would keep it secret.
Will it matter?
Kind of. Because on one hand, it would make it harder voting one direction for us next time. And then you guys are going to be like, fuck you, Jess. Like, I guarantee, because it would be my decision here. Or it's kind of vote the other way and the next vote will be easy. And you know what? I am down to be a bastard, actually. Let me make that clear. I am a bastard at heart. So we're voting for Cruella.
DeVille moves on 3-2 to the next round. Kevin starts us off on this one. Is it Jafar from Aladdin or Captain Hook from Peter Pan?
Ooh. Okay, I gotta stay true to my roots. And since I think they may go the other way, I'm gonna steal John's vote and go Jafar.
Jafar gets 2 votes off of that one. John, we'll get your vote later on. But Bubbles, is it Jafar or Captain Hook?
I'm trying to decide if I want to use my steal a vote.
That's what I was waiting on too.
You should.
Because I kind of want to make it a little bit. I want to make it a little fun.
Just know though that the way it works out, you start next matchup in the rotation, and whoever's that matchup, whoever goes on that matchup faces the one that you just decided on. So realistically, if you steal somebody's vote on the next matchup, you kind of choose that entire matchup. And
so my idea,
semifinals.
I just want to be so silly and fun, is I was thinking about stealing either Shay or Kate's vote so that they would have to do a tie. So the other one would have to do a tiebreaker. Is what I was thinking.
But that would also reveal what the Final Four is.
That would. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go ahead. I am voting for Hook on this one, but I'm going to save my steal a vote.
Okay. Kate, is it Captain Hook or Jafar?
Jafar, good.
Jafar gets the vote and the win off of that one. John did have his vote stolen, but John, what would have your vote been?
It was really tight. I would have gone Hook just out of loyalty, but I'm totally fine either way. They were my number one and like 2 of my favorites. So.
And Shay finished this out. Is it Jafar or Captain Hook?
Definitely.
So realistically, it wouldn't have mattered if the vote was stolen in the first place. But just to stick it to him, Kevin decided to steal John's vote. Jafar moves on 4-1. Bubbles, final matchup in the quarterfinals, and this is the last time for Bubbles, Kate, Shay to use steal a vote, or Kevin and John to use pass the parcel. Bubbles, is it Scar or Hopper?
I'm going to steal Kevin's vote. And we are voting for Hopper.
Hopper gets 2 votes off of that one. Kate, is it Hopper or Scar?
Oh, it's Hopper.
Gets another one and a win off of that one. John, Hopper or Scar?
I'm
Damn you,
flummoxed
Bubbles.
by like the love for the villain of the like 10th best Pixar movie. Like,
It's the hatred for the villain of the 10th best Pixar movie.
I'm flummoxed by it versus the villain of what's
Like
either the number 1 or the number 2 greatest animated movie of all time.
We're not picking who we love the most. We're picking who we hate the
Completely
most.
bizarre to me.
I think it's
it doesn't
great.
matter now, but Scar all day.
Down with the
long.
patriarchy.
Yes.
All right, and Kevin had his vote stolen. So Shay, is it Hopper or Scar?
Hopper.
Hopper all the way, which means it moves on 4-1. But either way, Kevin, what would have your vote been?
It would have been Scar.
It would have been Scar. So 4-1. Hopper moves on to the final 4. Pass the parcel is now off the board, and so is steal a vote. Kevin, Kate, John still have loads to blow, if they so choose. If they don't want to, they don't have to. But still, that moves on. That goes all the way to the end of the game. Kate starts us off, and I'm going to give you this option as always. Is it? We're going to start off with these 4. You pick one. We pick whatever matchup that is. Is it Maleficent, Hopper, Jafar, or DeVille?
I hate Hopper the most, even though I want to say Jafar. So I'm going to go Hopper.
Okay. Hopper will be facing DeVille in this one.
Mm.
Hopper is still a worse villain than Cruella DeVille. He is ruining the entire... You screw the egg economy from Gaston. He's ruining the entire ant economy. Their entire life is spent serving this fascist, and Cruella DeVille's just out here trying to make ready-to-wear coats.
Hopper gets a vote. John?
I'm going with the human who wants to skin adorable puppies alive. Cruella.
Tie game. Shay?
I'm gonna go with Cruella on that one too.
Kevin?
It's Cruella and who?
Hopper?
Yeah, fuck Hopper. Cruella.
Finally, our national nightmare is over.
And Bubbles, finish this out. Is it Hopper or DeVille? You're on mute.
Sorry, I had a work call. I am also going to go with Hopper on this one as well.
Hopper moves on to the 3rd place matchup. DeVille, 3-2, moves on to the finals. The other one, of course, starting off by John. John, is it Maleficent or Jafar?
This is a hard one. It's Jafar, though. I think he's my favorite left in the bracket. So, Jafar.
Jafar gets a vote. Shay?
I'm counting on the ladies for this one. Maleficent's gonna kick Jafar's ass.
Not so ladylike. Kevin, is it Maleficent or Jafar?
It's got to be Jafar. Come on, ladies, help me out. Jafar.
Bubbles.
Oh, it's Maleficent. Like 110%, it's Maleficent.
Which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to Kate. Kate, you're in a weird position because one of these goes into third place position to face Hopper in the third place round, the third place winner, and the other one faces DeVille in the finals. Is it Maleficent or Jafar?
And whichever one I pick goes on to face Hopper.
Faces DeVille.
Faces DeVille.
The other one faces Hopper for third place.
Okay. So I love Maleficent, but as a villain, I think Jafar is more villainous by Jafar, and I promise it's my last Jafar pun that I have for the day. So I'm gonna pick Jafar, and I feel like that's even more feminist because I'm not putting two women against each other. You're welcome,
There you go.
America.
Misogyny solved.
And all
3
it
to
took was
2.
a bracket bastard.
And all it took was choosing a man. Good job.
Oh,
Oh,
And this
say
is
that.
why some of us took revenge on John as a collective.
I would like to reiterate
That's
that
fair.
some of us are bigger bastards than others. Do not hold what one bastard says against the other bastard. Usually I save that for a certain person, but it just happened to be earned today. Jafar and DeVille are in the finals, but first we're going to check out the third place position. And Shay, one. John, did you start that one off, or yeah?
Yes.
Shay. Okay, Shay starts this one off. My math was correct. Is it Maleficent or Hopper for third place?
Oh, Maleficent all the way. Squash his tiny ass.
Gets a vote, Kevin.
fuck Hopper. Angelina Jolie, all the way.
Pretty sure that's almost impossible. And I would have said fuck Angelina Jolie, but that's me.
I mean,
Bubbles.
that goes with
Is it
that. Shouldn't even have to be said. You know.
Maleficent. Oh, Bubbles. Is it Maleficent or Hopper?
It's like choosing likability against dislikability. Like, do we give somebody the place because we dislike them more, or do we give them the place because we like them more?
Decisions.
It is. It's horrible. This is awful. I'm gonna go with Hopper.
Kate, Hopper, Maleficent.
I'm gonna go with Hopper. I feel like Maleficent, if she were here right now, would be like, "Thank you for making me the fourth worst villain," because we all know I'm not really a villain. Stefan is the real villain of the story.
Which means the tie-breaking decision for third place actually comes down to a hopefully first-time guest, John. Is it Hopper or Maleficent?
Come on, John.
So yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
have a
this-
take here, which is the live action movies make her not really a villain. So yeah, shockingly I'm choosing Hopper here.
Oh,
Hopper
you,
gets
Freddie.
third place. Remember your passing argument on that one on the next one, which Kevin starts. This is the last time for Kevin, Kate, or John have the ability to blow their load. But Kevin, is it Cruella DeVille or Jafar?
Ooh, I'm blowing my load.
Ironically enough, I saw that coming. Bubbles, is it DeVille or Jafar?
Cruella.
Gets a vote, Kate.
Well, it doesn't make sense for me to also blow my load.
You
which is what I
have the
wanna do.
ability.
Fine, I'm gonna do it.
Kate has also decided to blow her load in this situation. John, Jafar, DeVille.
Just to make it more interesting, Jafar.
gets a vote. Shay, DeVille, Jafar.
I'm gonna have to go Cruella on that one.
Kevin, you blew your load. Is it Cruella DeVille or Jafar?
Okay, and I'm making my case straight to Kate because Kate will be the tiebreaker on this one. Kate, Cruella never actually killed puppies. She was after puppies. Jafar destroyed a whole kingdom, imprisoned a genie. He was just straight evil. He threw a kid down into a well to retrieve a piece of magic and then just left him there to die. So Jafar.
Not only that, he also sent a pretty much child. He's allowed a teenager from a very, very arid and dry and hot area. So he's scantily clothed in the entire movie, and sent him out into the cold, the freaking tundra, to die with a cute ass little monkey.
Yep, he almost killed it. He tried to kill a monkey.
He almost killed a freaking Abu. Like, how could you kill Abu? I don't care about Aladdin. Aladdin, being the douchebag that he is, realistically, he's not a good hero. But Abu is fucking cute. He's a cute ass monkey. How do you kill a cute ass monkey?
Oh, I mean, also Jafar's shoulder pads are a crime against humanity in and of itself.
True.
So I don't know if you voted yet, Kevin, but it sounds like we're probably on the same page.
Arrogant. Yeah. Oh yeah. I went Jafar.
Yeah, he voted for Jafar, so it's a tie-breaking decision coming out of you.
No, it's Jafar.
Jafar. You didn't even have to stake your claim on that one there, Kevin.
Yeah, I was making sure.
I appreciated the argument, but I was like, yes, I agree with all of this.
Anyway, it is third place Hopper, second place DeVille, and first place Jafar in the Disney Villains bracket. That is our show this week there, guys. Kevin, where can people find you?
You can find me on the Mod Squad community at or at Back to the Retro on Instagram. Back to the Retro Review on Instagram.
And Bubbles.
You can find me right here on Bracket Bastards, or you can also find me on TikTok under Jessie Marie.
Kate.
You can find me online everywhere as Kate Laverne, or at any given time anywhere on the Eastern Seaboard doing stand-up last Sunday of every month, someplace else, Waterford Works, New Jersey.
And our first and hopefully returning guest later on, John, where can people find you?
On all the socials, John Barber, but Bracket of Champions is where we do our fun brackets, the Facebook group, and then bracketofchampions.com.
And, of course, a returning guest and hopefully future bastard on this one, Shay. Where can people find you?
As of today, you will now find me trolling everything of John's now because I can.
I was in the market for a nemesis anyway.
Well, all right.
John, you are the cause of Shay's villain story.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
You are the reason it has begun.
This is
Next year it's gonna be the top bracket bastards villains.
Nice. We got the origin story of Shay.
doing a
You will now find me trolling everything of John's. And you can occasionally find me on Mondays on Sports Insider with Sportcat, marveling about sports that I know nothing about and talking about all the players' butts. Paranormal Guys on Wednesdays, talking about all things cryptidy, spooky, whatnot. Occasionally on Fridays for the Grin and Guardian Gang for public safety and paramedics and cops and whatnot, and then just doing whatever the hell we feel like it on Saturdays on the Misfits.
And I'm Freddie Fisher. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you're on Facebook, check out Bracketology. We have 2 polls going up every single day. Currently, it is the Milfinite bracket, which we did a couple of weeks ago on here, where Zoe Deschanel won this particular one, but she's didn't even make it out of the second round on the one on Bracketology. We're in the finals on that one currently. We're also doing Terrific Teachers, where in yesterday's poll, Mr. Feeney just absolutely kicked the crap out of Gabe Cotter.
Mr.
Which I
Cotter.
saw that one coming.
Mr.
Mr.
Cotter,
Cotter. And next up, the clues are already out there and it's been solved. We're doing the DILF bracket. So, when the ladies are done, the ladies who get to vote are going to have their say on which one's the hottest dad in Hollywood. Other than that, on Twitter, you can find me at Fisher777 or all at Bracket Pod. And on Instagram, can't lick me, not one word. Next week, as I said, on here is an all-female cast. I'm not voting. Hopefully, I can get Bubbles up enough to actually host this one. I will be in the background, as always, taking care of our comments. And if we can get enough, I might be doing the pass to partial as well, just for shits and giggles. I will leave this show the same way that I've been doing every other show that I host, and that is with a quote. Today's quote is from Rachel Hollis, the author of the book called Girl, Wash Your Face. And that is this: I am willing to be the villain in someone else's story if it means I can be the hero of my own.
Looking at you, John.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.